Kelly McGarry. 3, 2, 1, McGarry.
Every kid rides a bike from sort of 5 years old. I was one of those kids too, you know. I've always run my bike around the neighbourhood with my neighbourhood friends and that. Used to go out riding the trails. The best advice that anyone gave to me was never play leapfrog with a unicorn. No, that wasn't the best advice. I don't know, I guess it was my mum's advice probably was just like treat other people like you'd like to be treated. So I just try to do that.
Kelly, no matter what's going on, he's always someone you can look at and get excited to ride because he's always stoked. He's always got a big smile on his face.
Such a nice guy, like super friendly, cool to hang out with. I mean, you obviously know instantly when he's on course because it's like flaming hair coming out the back.
Let's hear it for Kelly McGarry, Rotorua. Nice, McGazza in the house.
He's a super nice guy, so down to earth. Yeah, just like such a rad dude.
He's always got some sort of joke that he's saying or cracking. I really enjoy being around him. He's always positive.
Every time we finish the course, we always used to high five and say the operation was a complete success. And just one of Kelly's jokes. Usually working with him was funny every day. Everyone knows Kelly likes to go big, so yeah, when we built courses, he always insisted that everything was big. Just turning up to build this year was pretty sad because Kelly's time mark's actually the last time mark on the course, so it's kind of cool.
One of the things I really like about mountain biking is the places it takes you. So I've met like so many awesome people, and yeah, I would have had none of that without riding mountain bikes. Yeah, I guess I just like to be remembered as someone that went pretty big, and I don't know, I was just happy to be on a bike, I guess, and yeah. It was a good time.
Ready for the energy, turn the heat up. Ready for the energy, turn the heat up. Keep the beat up, turn the heat up. Green light more, time to speed up. Green light more, keep the beat up. Ready for the energy, turn the heat up. Ready for the energy, turn the heat up. Green light more, time to speed up. Green light more, keep the beat up. Ready for the energy, turn the heat up. Ready for the energy, turn the heat up.
Welcome, my friends. It is slopestyle time today, live from beautiful Rotorua, New Zealand. This is the Crankworx Slopestyle in memory of McGazza. Stop number 2 on our newly formed Slopestyle Super League season, Alan.
Absolutely, Cam, and I'm stoked. First diamond level event of the season, more points, straight to finals, nothing but action.
World-class course, best riders in the world. Let's do this. Oh, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Crankworx Slopestyle in memory of McGazza. Moments away from dropping our first riders, and we have a beautiful day on tap. Perfect conditions for slopestyle action, low winds, sun shining bright, blue sky, and the exuberant fans of Rotorua, New Zealand ready to cheer on their favorite riders. I'm your host, Cam McCall, alongside Alan Cook. And I can't wait to drop our riders for the second stop of 5 in our newly formed Slopestyle Super League this season. We unveiled the shootout at the first stop in Christchurch just a couple weeks ago. I love the way that shook down, and I can't wait to see how the riders have evolved their strategies with this new format.
Yeah, definitely. There's a ton of strategy that goes into that new format. Riders that can really, we saw Fedko really kind of capture the idea and the concept kind of laid up in that second round, knowing that it was going to be really hard to improve his run by the amount of points that were available in the shootout. So he was able to really overcome that and make it work in his favor and seal up that first win.
We're live right now on the Crankworx YouTube. You'll be able to watch all of the live broadcasts for the 2026 season right here on this YouTube channel. So I would recommend subscribing. We're going to see if we can climb that subscriber count more and more after each one of these broadcasts. We also encourage you to join the conversation. I got my phone in my pocket. I'm going to be whipping it out and reading some of those comments and interacting with you all. We might even throw your comment up on the screen as well. But it feels so good to be back here in Rotorua. We have been coming and doing this slopestyle competition since 2015. This course was built by the legend himself, Kelly McGarry, who unfortunately passed away in 2016. We are celebrating the 10th year of his passing today, celebrating his memory. Our good friend and fellow competitor, and the riders out here are always doing it in honor of Kelly. But thinking back to that 2016 event where we were so melancholy trying to celebrate his memory while riding as hard as we can in honor of him, to think back how long ago 2016 seems, and realizing that Brandon Semenuk was the first rider to win the Crankworx Slopestyle in memory of McGazza. When we started labeling this competition the McGazza Slopestyle, Brett Reeder was the first rider to win the competition alongside Kelly while he was still riding in 2015. But today, here we are for the 12th running of it, thinking we have only seen 5 winners in 11 events. It is very prestigious to win this iconic competition.
Yeah, it's amazing. We're at the point now where some of the new faces that we're seeing in the roster list here are sort of second generation from this event. You know, they've grown up watching their favorite riders do what they do here on this Kelly McGarry course, and now it's their chance. And I've been seeing some of that, like, in those new riders' eyes, like, okay, I'm here, I'm experiencing and just soaking it all in.
It's fun to be nostalgic of those days of old. Let's look back to the winning run from 2016. Brandon Semenuk. It's been a long time since we've seen him on the Crankworx Slopestyle World Tour. Of course, a rider who's still completely pushing the limits and shaping what the sport of freeride mountain biking looks like. He won Red Bull Rampage in 2024, just a season ago. And here's a look back at his win where he beat Brett Reeder, who was the defending champion. We got a younger Nicholi Rogatkin on the podium here with a little baby beard. To think that Nicholi Rogatkin is still in the field today, and he's at a level where he very much is a top contender, could take the win out here today, is just a testament to his longevity in the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. I said yesterday, he could be the guy. You know, he's won here before, so we're looking forward to seeing what he's got.
Unveiling for the first time in this 2026 season, the Slopestyle Super League, which is a new format where all of these preliminary events will lead up to a world championship for the first time. A one-off world championship event will take place at Mont Saint Anne, the final of our 5 Crankworx World Tour stops. This is the first diamond level event here today, which means there are more points up for grabs. Diamond level competitions have bigger courses. It's harder to get into. In Christchurch, we saw a qualifying round where the riders had to earn their way into the final. For this one, your way of earning your way into the final is through all of your previous results from gold and diamond level events before this one. The riders are trying to qualify for the final, which is the World Championships in Mont Saint Anne. But as another new addition to the format, the Silver Star event this year is a gold event, and that will be a playoff round. The riders who haven't already pre-qualified themselves in MSA will duke it out in Silver Star for the opportunity to compete in that World Championships.
Yeah, such an opportunity, and awesome for us to watch as this sport progresses based on the riders' feedback, the judges' feedback, really building this sport into its next level. Having, you know, that sort of set out season and plan. Now these riders are planning not event to event, but for the whole year.
Yeah, for sure. A rider who kicked off his year on the right foot was Erik Fedko. It was so great to see him finally getting a win on the Crankworx Slopestyle World Tour. He had had a second place. He had had 7 World Tour podiums, but the gold medal was elusive until Christchurch just a couple weeks ago. And we thought he may be one rider who wasn't a fan of the shootout if that lead would have been taken away from him, but he capitalized on that new format, choosing that 360 down whip to Indian Air, and still won the event. David Godziek currently ranked 1 in the FMB World Tour rankings, was the runner-up in Christchurch, but he went down swinging, didn't he?
Yeah, he absolutely did. He used that shootout to his benefit, bumping himself up from 3rd to 2nd, even though he didn't necessarily pull the trick that he wanted in his mind. So you know he's got what it takes to bump himself up throughout that shootout round.
The fact that David Godziek is the #1 ranked rider in the world from the FMB World Tour rankings means that he will be dropping last. But returning to the podium a couple weeks ago in Christchurch was Nicholi Rogatkin.
Yeah, Nicholi Rogatkin, there's just something in the air about Nicholi. Watching him on the course this morning, he did have a crash, kind of got up a little bit slow, but you know, he is the ultimate warrior and he's not gonna let that slow him down today.
How about Chance Moore, 4th at Christchurch? He had a podium cans last year, and he is just continuing to climb the ranks. We see him with that front flip bar spin off the flat drop. That was one of the best moments of the shootout from Christchurch.
Yeah, absolutely. Chance Moore really becoming, you know, that main stage in that top 5. It's hard to believe that only here last year was his first Crankworx slopestyle event, because he's just always right there fighting for those podium positions.
Now moving things over to the women, Shealen Reno has been so consistent. She was the first season overall champion once slopestyle was introduced for the women in 2024, and she has just been on a steady progression. 2 bronze medals from Joyride, but still hadn't won until a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, really one of the smartest riders out there, just using, you know, her brain to really make the things that she needs to happen. She's locked in on tricking every single set. She's consistent with it, and it's working in her favor.
It's great to see Harriet Burbidge-Smith back from a really challenging injury and straight to the podium in Christchurch, a bronze medal. And we did not see her push herself out of her comfort zone, which is great considering she's on the mend, and it's been a really challenging recovery. But I would say that she's trending upward right now as well.
Yeah, for sure. Earning her way into this event here in Rotorua through that wild card in Christchurch. So really, I think her head's in a good space. Not only is she rebuilding her body, she's going to start rebuilding her results. She's earned her way in. That's confidence. It's momentum. I think she's going to kill it today.
Those are our front runners we're going to be looking forward to seeing out there today. But Alan, we've been doing this. We've been talking about who our new favorite riders are. Who's your new favorite rider coming in today's competition for the women?
For the women, I got the sharpshooter, Shealen Reno. She broke the seal. We talked about all her accolades throughout the last couple of years, but really breaking that seal and taking that top step of the podium. I'm looking to see that momentum continue here. I've heard some rumblings of some new things that we haven't seen out of her, so I'm really excited to see what she does out there today.
All right, well, my new favorite rider right now, I'm really excited to see the youngster, 17 years of age, out of Germany, Johanna Nussbaumer. You see some footage on the right side of the screen right now. She was warming up at Joyride. We did not see her take to the course in finals, which was a letdown, but we just had to be patient. She represents a new wave of talent coming out of Germany, following in the footsteps of Patricia Druin. She has 360 variations, backflip variations. I talked to her during practice this morning. She says she loves this course, which is great to hear because this course is a diamond level event, which means the features are much bigger than the events she has competed and earned her points to find herself onto this start list today.
Yeah, probably no more intimidating course than that Boneyard course in Whistler. So really awesome and a good advantage for her to break the ice kind of for this kind of event, you know. That's gonna play in her favor for sure.
So we are on the edge of our seat wondering who's going to win the competition for the women's field and the men's field out there today. But one of you is going to win something as well. This is a piece of exclusive Crankworx Rotorua merchandise. You can get a shirt like this only 2 ways. You either have to be here and pick it up from the merch tent or entertain us in the comments at the bottom of your YouTube window right now on the Crankworx YouTube channel. We see the Carrera Falcon on this artwork right here, and we're going to give this away at the end of the show to somebody who entertains us. So join the conversation, like I said before. Going to be following along here on my trusty little pocket computer and talking to you in the chat as well. Curious, we just told you who our favorite riders are. You picked Shealen Reno, I picked the youngster, Johanna Nussbaumer. Who is your new favorite rider? Could be for the women's field, could be for the men's field. Drop us a comment below. Maybe that will be the comment that earns you a t-shirt. It's going to be fun to chat with you throughout the show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool to see the world coming together at these events online and really being able to interact with them. It's so cool. Technology these days, I'm telling you.
We talked about the fact that this is a legendary and iconic course. It has evolved over the previous 11 runnings. Let's take a look at what it currently looks like for these 9 features here today. Let's check out this course preview.
So we're dropping into the big side again. The steps down. Oh, it went a little big. feels good though. Next jump. Chilling this time, okay, more precise. Spinning with Fancy. Oh, yeah, Robin's right behind us. Here we go. Oh, one of the sickest jumps on course right here. That feels good. I'll spin the bones. Let's do it. Oh! I thought I was undercooking that shit. Oh my god, we're spinning. Yes, okay. Careful on the spine here. Let's flip this. Yo. All right. Yeah, okay, now we're feeling it. Now we're feeling it. Now we're feeling it.
Course is looking great. There's also an option line up top. You can either go flat drop to the right or step down on the left. The riders get to choose. So we're going to start out with a very familiar format, Alan, then we're going to shake it up with a shootout.
Yeah, each rider gets 2 runs to the course. Best run's going to count. The 2 judges and the head judge are going to be watching close. There's definitely a lot of things they're looking for: amplitude, execution, how clean they're landing. That's all going to affect their overall scores.
So after 2 runs, highest score for each rider counts. They have the ability now to add to their score in the round that we are calling shootout. We have Katie Winton at the top of the course. She's going to check in with the riders. They're going to tell the judges which feature they're going to do their shootout trick on. They're going to drop in, and they have an opportunity to add up to 5 points to their score. We saw this experiment play out the first stop in Christchurch. I loved it. Now we're doing it again here in Rotorua. Katie Winton up there reading the room, getting the pulse on the riders' vibes at the top. What's it feeling like up there, Katie?
Yeah, we're at the top here. The girls are ready to drop. They're actually in really good form. We've got young riders hitting this course for the first time, and yeah, I think we're in for a really big show today. The riders have been ramping up all week, so this is going to be insane.
I agree, Katie. Thanks so much. It's going to be fun. I'm going to throw this up to you periodically through the show, and then we're going to be coming to you as well during the shootout to find out what feature they have their eyes on. All right, baby. This is the Crankworx Slopestyle in memory of McGazza. We're going to kick things off with the women's field in a couple of moments. Don't go away. The New Zealand government is proud to support Crankworx Rotorua, showcasing Aotearoa as the home of world-class events.
At the top of the run, take a couple of breaths, try to clear my mind, let go of the brakes and go for it.
The design actually represents, it's called a manaya, which is a half profile figure. I hope they got more feeling of pride when they got the medal, as I did creating it.
Most race jitters, you never really know where you're sitting at. You've just been complaining to God here. I need my number plate.
Now the camera's on. There's a lot of really fast people here. Poopy's soaking.
This is YouTube style.
What the fuck is happening?
You never know what's gonna happen.
Outrageous.
What?
It's one of the most stacked old events I've ever seen.
I told her she's got it.
Hey!
It's like really tapped into my lolly.
Oh no. How was my off season and how I'm feeling coming into this?
Quite literally on a couch for months.
I haven't been on my downward block a lot.
This is kind of my first one back.
I'm like stronger and fitter than like I ever have been before.
A liability to myself sometimes.
Are you feeling ready? We'll find out, I guess.
Crankworx Rotorua slopestyle in memory of McGazza. The women's field loaded at the top of the course, waiting on the conditions to become optimal before they drop their first of 2 runs. Of course, we will also have a shootout round for the women on the feature of their choosing. In the field of riders we have today for the women, 3 have won a Crankworx World Tour slopestyle stop. We see 2 of those winners, actually all 3 of those winners on screen right now. Robin Goomes, Alma Wiggberg, and Shealen Reno will duke it out. Only one of them will add another win to their trophy case today.
Yeah, awesome to see Alma back. She was in Christchurch, but nursing a little bit of an injury, so we got what we call full field here. We're gonna be seeing some awesome, awesome tricks.
It's the 3rd season we've had a women's category in slopestyle competition, and just thinking about how many years the men have had to hone their craft and evolve this sport. We only have 1 previous winner in the field today who has won the Crankworx slopestyle in memory of McGazza in the past. We have 3 Crankworx slopestyle event winners in the field for the women, and it's been fun to see how their level has progressed over the past couple seasons, and also it's fun to see which riders have been really strategic in how they play their cards with that level of progression. Shealen Reno, she's not one of the riders we've seen rotating tricks, but she's really been laying into those upright kind of freestyle motocross combo variations, and that's been working out really well for her, taking the gold in Christchurch.
Yeah, she talked about her BMX racing background, how going straight as fast and as clean as you can was always really the goal and the intention in that BMX racing. So really translating that to those going forward straight tricks. The consistency she has on it, she's able to throw them on jumps where a lot of the other competitors are not even tricking. So tricking every set on the way down, stacking those points is really what's got her one of the riders to beat out here.
It's like a head side. Coming into the last round.
Well, one of the best parts about coming to Rotorua, New Zealand for the past 12 seasons is riding in between the events. Alan and I both bring our bikes and we try to find the windows that we have available to get into the redwoods and sample some of these world-class trails. The dirt here is second to none. I know after this broadcast we'll be getting out in the woods as well, won't we?
Oh, you know it.
Well, it looks like we have a rider in the gate right now. Harriet Burbidge-Smith is the first on our women's start list. As we mentioned earlier, she was on the podium, the first stop in Christchurch, took that bronze medal. Great to see her back from injury. She was 8th at Silver Star last year, 6th at Joyride 2 years ago in 2024, and she will kick things off for us. Harriet Burbidge-Smith on course.
Nice toboggan off the step down, choosing riders right. Tuck no-hander on the hip right there, staying low, getting all the pump right there. This jump is massive. Huge backflip out of Harriet Burbidge-Smith right there. Looking really calm and comfortable. Getting some pedals in here off the cannon. Keeping it consistent, staying nice and low. Looked like a tire grab over the hip there. Opting to go around the hitching post. There's the spine. Manages off the whale tail right there, no problem. Gets a good pump on this last set. What she got? Looks like a tuck no-hander, possibly a combo in her pocket right there. So something to build on for Harriet Burbidge-Smith.
A couple features left untricked out there, but she did get that big big rotation in there with that backflip and backed it up with a few tuck no-handers, etc. One thing that we're trying out here in run number 1 at this competition for the first time in Crankworx slopestyle is holding the results from run number 1 until every rider has completed 1 run. It gives the judges a little bit more time to make sure they're happy with the rankings and the points they award. And it also helps us move through our field quickly. So a great run there from Harriet Burbidge-Smith to start things off for the women. Let's take a look back at it.
Yeah, Harriet really good right there, getting backside, unleashing the backflip on that mega jump right there. This is up high a little bit on the hip there, tuck no-hander. This is where she pumps this jump and pulls a huge, perfectly smooth backflip. They keep doing that to me. There she is right there, getting that. Oh, it was a tire grab, not a toboggan. Coming in, you saw her go a little long right here.
It looked decent from that camera angle though.
A little bit different entry into this final jump, a double roller, so riders able to increase their speed if they need it. slight headwind on this final jump right here. We've been talking about Harriet earning her wild card, coming back from injury and all that stuff, but I think it's important to note she was on the podium at the first ever women's free ride event here at Crankworx right here in Rotorua, so comfort is there.
For sure, she was one of the riders we expected to see on the podium at every single event, but she had that crash at Joyride in 2024 and clawed her way back. She was out at Red Bull Rampage competing. Unfortunately, she had a crash right before finals. So a rider who has so much potential, she's already accomplished so much, but in the big picture of things, she's capable of so much more, and we're starting to see her really blossom right now. I'm sure the judges are going to be liking that run, and what I like about the format today is they're able to just look at this next run and decide if it is better or not as good as this run, kind of just rank the riders accordingly. And it's going to be a great experiment. We're experimenting a lot this season. First event back at Christchurch, we unveiled the shootout. Now we're unveiling this process of keeping the scores and the rankings until each rider has dropped their first run. And it's going to be exciting to see how that plays out today.
Festival vibe, such a nice morning out here. Looks like we have a rider up in the start hut.
Well, Shealen Reno coming off that big win at Christchurch. She's got 2 bronze medals from Red Bull Joyride. And this is the rider that we were talking about, where she basically just sits back, and I don't want to say like kind of the cleanup committee, but it is kind of a way of describing her process. She lets the riders wager a little bit too much and really decides how much she wants to put on the table, and she finds her way into those top 3 positions more often than not.
Yeah, she's definitely locked in on riding her own event, which I expect to see an elevated level after that win in Christchurch just a few weeks ago.
Also a rider who's about to move to Bellingham, Washington, where there is so much terrain capable of helping out her training. Expect her to, oh!
And there she goes, upside down. The first rotation we've seen in competition out of Shealen Reno, so that motivation and confidence from Christchurch is carrying right into this run. Getting a trick, nice little table right there on the hip. Gets up over the spine, a little bit long right there. Still has enough speed on the step down. Fighting a little bit through that wind, possibly.
See if she'll, oh, just struggling with speed on the last jump. Judges love to see a big punctuation on that final McGazza money booter, but she's got to be proud of herself right there for stepping out of her comfort zone and rotating that backflip. We were just commenting how she's probably going to slowly add more tricks to her bag, and there we go. We heard rumors she was rotating in practice.
Yeah, we know she puts a lot of time in on these tricks. She's got her own little TF down there in Austin, Texas, riding with all of these women and taking advantage of all of the progression sessions as she travels around the world. Awesome to see her elevating that game.
So the judges, instead of trying to figure out what the scores are right now, they're trying to figure out what the ranking is. So their main decision right now is, was that a better run than Harriet Burbidge-Smith's?
So windy.
Stayed smooth though.
Yeah.
So we hear they're fighting the elements just a little bit right there, but really good start. Got that tuck no-hander a little wide on that, but a good recovery into that hip. She knew she had something big right there, having to kind of swerve back in, but doing what she needed to do, a little back tire roll across the grass, and right there, pulling back for the backflip, but we don't get to see it.
And tucking the cannon chute, I think maybe filled in more blanks than Harriet. Missing a trick there, but I always feel like the judges put a lot of weight on the final jump. That will definitely hurt. Well, the next rider getting ready in the gate. I chose her as my new favorite rider, the young German Johanna Nussbaumer. It's exciting to see her making her first big World Tour Crankworx Slopestyle start right now. A rider who is very well versed in the rotation tricks. Expect to see maybe a flip and a 3 in this run. Bar spinning the top drop.
Yeah, big bar spin. That drop is completely blind off that flat ledge. Little bit of squirreliness on the hip, but able to recover, keeping her speed right there. Nice 360. Looked like she might have even been going for a bar spin in that 360. Tuck no-hander. Little bit of a tag right there. Not enough speed for the cannon, unfortunately. Such a good start.
I mean, that was on the right track to easily go into the lead if she were to have finished that run.
She's not done right now. She's going to pedal her way back into this course. It's a good opportunity to just wipe that clean. Have something to build on, ride yourself to the bottom, up and over the jump. Opportunity to feel how those conditions are affecting this last jump.
It's so windy. No, it's so windy.
That's slopestyle competition right there. You have no control over what the conditions do on comp day. So judges deciding how to rank her, but keeping that secret until every rider has done their first run. This was looking like a tough run to beat. We'll have to wait until run number 2 for Johanna Nussbaumer to see if she can clean it up and put it through to the finish corral.
Yeah, bar spin on the first 2 obstacles right there. Then coming in, doing that really nice 360. It looked like she was going for a truck driver, a 360 bar spin. It just didn't quite have the speed to continue off the cannon. Thinking about the wind, headwind, it's going to affect these smaller riders twice as much as it would a bigger rider. This is gravity fed, this course. So they have a big challenge out here with that headwind. Let's hope it dies off.
There we go, next rider in the gate, a 2-time Red Bull Rampage champion, also the first winner in women's slopestyle right here in Rotorua in 2024. She was the bronze medalist just a year ago here. Let's see what Robin Goomes has. We've seen her expanding her trick repertoire in practice. A suicide on the first step down.
First rider to go left. Huge corked out backflip right there.
Backflip one-footed can-can as well.
Nice. Oh, and getting the knack-knack.
Will she have the speed after slipping a pedal?
Oh, a little bit short right there. She wants to keep it going, putting in all the pedals she can.
That's determination. She'll be able to keep rolling. Oh. That is the one feature there where I figured you'd be able to keep going because there's no gap to clear on that stump table. She's just exhausted from all those tricks she just pulled, sprinting between each feature.
Yeah, our first competitor riding that rider's left line. A little bit of a lip step down. She was able to trick it off. Little glare on the screen here, but you called it out. Can-can backflip. So combos going upside down on the top half of the course. You know she's got something big for this bottom set. This is that opportunity to really kind of erase that mistake, finish something solid, feel out the conditions, know what you got to do on the next run.
Well, it's interesting, right? So many riders had incomplete first runs, and the judges have to give a score and a ranking for each one of these runs. And if enough riders have bobbles, well, you got to rank them as well. So it's to your benefit to at least make it to the finish corral. Oh, no. Oh, good save, yeah. Time to just save the energy and focus on run number 2 for Robin.
Yeah, and don't forget, strategy comes into play. You got to stay within 10 points of the top 3 to make that shootout. So continuing a messed up run could be the difference of making it into the shootout or not.
That's a good point, actually. With these new formats being so fresh, there are all these strategic elements that we haven't even thought about yet, and that's definitely one of them.
Good save, bro. Good save. Come on.
Okay, it was straight out of the gate banger. Suicide no-hander on the step down. A backflip one-footed can-can on the first dirt-to-dirt. Straight into a backflip knack-knack. But sloppy all the way through, struggling for speed, still trying to salvage the knack-knack there. I can't believe she actually made it over this cannon.
Yeah, that
I think
was
it was
close.
a matter of exhaustion, the fact that she pulled off here.
Yeah, that was close. Having to pedal in between to keep her momentum going, that is not how you can set yourself up smoothly for the next trick.
Also on a pretty big bike out there, which impacts this ability to carry speed.
Unreal.
Okay, huge opportunity now for Alma Wiggberg the #1 ranked rider in the world, absent from the first stop in this 2026 season in Christchurch, but the winner of Red Bull Joyride in 2025 and 2024.
Undefeated at Joyride.
The winner of Cairns 25 and 24. But we've seen her absent from the start list so many times, a rider who's been struggling with shoulder instability. It's great to see her in the start gate right now after a strong few days of practice. Huge opportunity here for her to skyrocket into that top spot. We've seen a lot of sloppy runs out of the rest of the field so far.
Yeah, Alma Wiggberg, such a deep bag of tricks. Nice toboggan off of that step down. Oh, flips the hip, gets a little bit corked out. Can she continue and keep her speed? Oh, right there, she was just struggling to stay low. She knew she needed to get every ounce of pump off of that little roller and stayed just a little bit too low and kind of bounced off the top and did not catch the backside, and probably a good move to pull off, but now the pressure is building for that second run for Alma.
How crazy is that? So the first 2 runs of the day were not spotless. It was Harriet Burbidge-Smith and Shealen Reno, but those have to be the top 2 runs because they're the only 2 who made it to the finish corral without stopping.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same conditions for everybody. It's who can kind of battle their way through. Alma Wiggberg back on course, up and over the spine. Already fighting for speed right there, getting some pumps. Just getting over the jump right there, getting to the bottom. Mental reset right there.
You hear the riders when they're chatting in the finish corral about the windy conditions. It's crazy, right? The wind was kind of perfect during practice, and hopefully this is just kind of a morning breeze coming through that will subside here eventually.
As an athlete, you know, as the pressure builds for the start time of the event, it feels like sometimes when it's windy is when the start time is. Seems to never fail.
We have like an hour with the boys, and then maybe it'd be completely different.
You hear Haz right there, positive attitude. It's exactly what you need on days like this.
Yeah, I need a tree to hug me back.
I don't like about a tree. You need to tell you stuff.
We just need to find a tree that will all.
The wind got was sick.
You're gonna need to go further and push it as far as like the vehicle arm, like.
On the wooden one, like after
Getting some insights right here from these riders, hearing how the winds are affecting them, waiting for scores to pop up. Judges will be deliberating and ranking these riders. So difficult for everybody in situations like this.
Thinking back to Harriet and Shealen's runs, I'm trying to remember what Shealen did off of the first drop, because it's really going to come down to the granular elements here. A big bonus for Harriet was the fact that she got that tuck no-hander on the final jump. She did slip a pedal, but we saw Shealen with a straight air on the final jump.
Yeah, that's how I go. Land, and I'm like, push, pedal, push.
Pedal on the landing, and then you can get into the training, and then come the bottom. I mean, maybe don't change what
Maybe the two balls the same ball.
Because you do it late, you get to push it through. Oh, I've got it, and then do it.
So interesting there, if you caught that, these riders getting some tips on how to maintain their speed in conditions like this. Pedaling down the landings is the advice that I heard. Trying to push that momentum, everything you have. Touched on it briefly, but these female riders are generally quite a bit smaller than the male athletes, and the wind will affect them quite a bit more.
All right, receiving word from the judges right now. 5th place, Alma Wiggberg with a score of 20. Johanna Nussbaumer rewarded for those tricks she stomped before her run derailed. She's sitting in 4th place right now. The big question, 3, 2, 1. Who will the top riders be from run number 1? Harriet, Shealen, and Robin are the 3 riders left who we don't know their rankings yet. This order will also determine start list run order for run number 2. What do you think, Alan? I would love to see those runs again, but I was kind of thinking that the top run would potentially be Harriet because she tricked that final jump. I think she packed a little bit. I think Shealen may have packed more in, but she didn't really punctuate it on the final jump, but it really comes down to where the judges rank them. We're waiting on those top 3 scores.
Yeah, I think I agree with that strategy or that way of thinking based on those first runs. I am trying to run through in my head what they did. They're all pretty consistent with getting tricks off of the first few obstacles on the top before they started having those issues with the wind.
All right, so Robin is sitting in 3rd after run number 1 with a score of 47.5. Big question now between Harriet and Shealen. Who took the top spot? Who will the 2nd place rider be from run number 1? The 2 riders to make it to the finish draw. Harriet in 2nd place with a score of 65.75, which means Shealen was the top rider from run number 1 with a score of 73.25. Something good to build upon there for run number 2, and then eventually our shootout round. Congrats to Shealen.
Yeah, Shealen's got to be hyped on that score, separating herself from the rest of the field by quite a bit. Remember, this strategy, these riders can shut down the shootout by really putting it all on the line and getting that 10-point advantage.
Let's take a look back at some highlights from run number 1. Robin Goomes coming out swinging hard in the first few features in run number 1. Unfortunately, derailing the run in the middle of the course, but it was banger after banger, the flip variations and the knack-knack. Harriet Burbidge-Smith, the only rider to make it to the finish corral and trick the final jump, getting that tuck no-hander, but the consistency throughout all the features and the top and the middle was rewarded. Shealen Reno is your top rider from run number 1 for the women.
Yeah, we saw her go upside down for the first time in a competition run here at Crankworx. So using that confidence, that you know, boost of getting that first place just a few weeks ago in Christchurch, using it to her advantage, pulling off tricks she hasn't done before, landing herself in first place. She's doing her thing.
I'm not standing on the course right now. You know, we're at the bottom and we're a little bit sheltered, but I feel like the wind conditions might be improving a little bit, and we have our men up at the top of the course about ready to drop their first runs. And they got to be thinking about the way run 1 went for the women and the fact those conditions played a huge part in it.
Yeah, definitely. You got to kind of block that out and just ride your own comp right at that point. But going to our favorite riders, I got Paul Couderc right there. Probably the most intense rider on the course. You see so much passion and so much aggression out of him. Putting a lot of focus on free ride and big bikes these days, but Paul definitely dialed 720s both directions, double backflips like it's nothing.
My new favorite rider, a new rider to the scene right here, Dane Folpp. He has so much potential. He's currently ranked 10th in the world. He got 10th at Christchurch as well. But stuff like that backflip bar spin off the flat drop, he finished off his run with a huge double backflip one-footed can-can. I would say this is a rider who means business. I talked to him on the course in one of the practice days, and he said he's trying to find places on this course to think outside the box and do tricks that the judges won't expect. The fact that he has a deep bag of tricks existing already, and the fact that his mind is already turning, trying to think about ways to separate himself and be unique, that's why he's my new favorite rider.
Yeah, definitely. You see these riders' personalities and what they do on these courses. I'm excited to see some of these fresh faces and see what they got.
A look at our start list right here for the men. Griffin Paulson will be the first rider to drop. It is remarkable to even see Griffin on course in practice this morning. We know that he had a big crash, double flipping the step down out of the whale tail in practice. We weren't sure if we were gonna see him on the start list, but he's such a warrior. Of course, he's going to drop in if there's any possibility to do so. And then our final 3 riders to drop, Chance Moore, Erik Fedko, and David Godziek. Packed field today. Of course, Nicholi Rogatkin in there as well.
Oh yeah, you know Nicholi is going to be sending it today. Lucas Huppert, Tobey Miley, Chance Moore. Such a stacked field. You know, when we do these broadcasts, we kind of just get inside of it, but re-watching Christchurch, it was just unbelievable to see the level of these athletes out here one-upping each other run after run.
Well, first season of the Slopestyle Super League we're embarking upon here in 2026. Let's take a look at the current standings after the first big event. Basically the rankings from Christchurch, but more points up for grabs here today because this is a diamond event. But Fedko getting his first big World Tour win means that he is leading the charge in the Slopestyle Super League so far.
Yeah, several podiums. I think 3 second places at Crankworx Slopestyles. Fedko definitely killing it right there. One rider we won't see today, at number 5 rider, Caden Ingersoll. What do you got for intel on that for us, Cam?
Yeah, so Caden unfortunately having a big crash and is recovering from an injury right now. I've been chatting with him. He wanted to let all the fans know that he wishes he could be out there today, but he is on the mend, and we really look forward to seeing him back on the start list on the Crankworx World Tour, a rider who we are expecting to dominate at some point. But it's just been a tough start for his season, battling that injury right now. We're hoping we'll be able to see him back soon. This is the start of a long season right now, so the year is young. Still, we'll be wrapping things up in September, so maybe there's time, but all Caden Ingersoll fans wish him well.
Yeah, we see David Godziek right there, just 75 points behind Erik Fedko, but maybe the man who left the most on the table in Christchurch, crashing his second run there in the regular runs and not quite pulling off what he wanted in the shootout, but able to bump himself back up to second. So the Magic Man's got definite deep pockets of tricks, and I'm hoping this win will allow him to really unleash on this Rotorua course.
Well, it's great to be back in Rotorua. Every year, Crankworx World Tour begins with an opening ceremony at the Tapuya Cultural Center, where the Maori people of this region formally welcome the Crankworx community onto the land where the festival takes place. The ceremony is called the Pofiti, and one of the key moments is when our representative, King of Crankworx, Ryan Gilchrist, lifts the fern and places it before him. It signals that the visitors come in peace, and the guests are then welcomed. It's the way we kick off every Crankworx Rotorua. And then the next step is seeing the familiar faces out here lining the courses and cheering these riders on, which we love.
Yeah, we see Griffin Paulson kind of getting in position right there, feeling out the conditions. I was kind of eavesdropping him talking after a couple of practice runs. I'm not sure what the injury is that he's feeling, but he was saying each run down it was getting weaker and weaker, and he was just contemplating on whether or not he needed to do another practice run or just save it for the event, and looks like he is ready to go up here.
His best Crankworx result came in 2024. It was a 5th at Joyride. A rider with big moves like the twister, capable of getting on that podium. It just hasn't lined up for him yet. Griffin Paulson, quite the warrior, being at the top of the course right now after that crazy crash in practice. It's good to see. Hoping he saved enough energy for this run right here.
We saw Nicholi standing on that landing of the third obstacle, kind of feeling out the wind. I saw his head nodding in the positive direction. So here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Griffin Paulson on course.
Yeah! Front flip bar spin off that rider's left step down. Straight into a double backflip. Right there, what's he got on this big jump? Front flip, tuck, no hander. Amazing run so far. Let's keep it going, buddy. There's that new jump right there. Oh, 360 double tail. And it looks like he landed just slightly under rotated, and he was not quite ready for that impact. Just kind of gelled into the bike, and it bounced.
That run was starting out like a run you'd expect to see from somebody who feels fresh, not somebody who had just recently had a heavy slam a couple days ago and was scraping themselves up, trying to piece a run together. He was looking so strong.
Yeah, Griffin always one to feed off the crowd, acknowledging them right there, using some of that energy to get him down to the bottom. Let's see what he's got. Remember, strategy is at play, so you do need to finish that run if you can. Griffin Paulson coming down. Nice arrow over the spine. Maybe a good body check right now. Backflipping right there. Off the step down into the final jump.
Yeah!
A perfect double backflip. How casual is a double backflip these days, Cam?
It's crazy how many double backflips you see in practice, how many you see in trains. And I mean, usually we would call this a throwaway run, and so it's impressive to see a banger trick at the end of a write-off. But with what we've seen so far from the women's field, it is important to finish off this run because you never know what the story will be from the rest of the field.
Front flip bar spin off that first step down right there. Nice backflip. I didn't see any reason for him to lose speed right there. There's that front flip tuck no-hander.
Perfect.
Coming into this new jump. We did hear some riders saying it was soft. There's that 360 double tail up, and yeah, his back tire just kind of landing on that 2.5-foot safety case right there and bucked him sideways.
Tagged by only a couple inches. And whether this one is just purely for the crowd and to get the energy up, or if he's thinking, hey, I better try to score as high as I can in this first run in case other riders crash. We'll see what the story is now with the rest of the field. 11 more riders to go in run number 1 for the men.
All I needed to do was drop in.
He's thinking points, you hear that?
Yeah, absolutely. Strategy is on.
That's diamond level thought right there. All I had to do really was drop in. Just a reminder to viewers who maybe just be joining us, we're trying something new today, allowing the judges a little bit more time to get those rankings and those scores as ideal as possible. We're holding scores and rankings until each rider has completed their first run. We'll have live scoring for run number 2, and then we will take the top 3 plus any riders within 10 points of the top 3, and we'll let them do the shootout round.
Go.
Yeah, I was doing a bit of research on Lukas earlier this morning, and I came across something I didn't even believe. He pulled the world's first trick, flip bar spin to tail whip to bar to bar.
Flip bar spin to tail whip to double bar spin.
I thought that was one of those AI fake comments, but it was real, confirmed.
Nicholi down there still giving the wind checks for Lukas Skiöld. If Lukas can pack in those combos that we know he's capable of into a run, we may see a rider who hasn't earned a Crankworx Slopestyle podium yet do so here today. He had a 4th at Crankworx Summer Series at Silver Star last year. He was 11th here last year, currently ranked 17th in the world. Another rider who doesn't have a world ranking that really represents their capabilities, a rider who we haven't seen his best days yet.
Yeah, missed a lot of the 24 season with an injury. Came back, first event back was here last year. So he's officially been back for a year, and that's really what it takes after a big injury, so I'm looking forward to seeing this.
What was that?
I missed that one right there. We were a little too far out. Double downside tail whip on the hip. Coming into this big jump right there. Backflip, tail whip, 2 bar spin. There's that technical combinations right there. 360 bar spin, 2 tail whip. Off the cannon log, tuck no hand, 360 cases right there. So this is gonna take some effort. Right there, double bar spin. I think did he nollie off of that?
I think it was, yeah, a little nose press to double bar.
That back tire keeps hanging up just a little bit. Does he have enough momentum to make his way over this last jump?
Pushes through with a straight backflip, but that is so important to finish this run right here. Lukas Skiöld salvaging this run that started out so strong.
Yeah, he's not happy with that. That's not what he wanted, but he did get all the way to the bottom, so that is going to be super important as we work our way through this day.
Yeah, with the judges focusing on rankings first, scores later, you got to imagine it's a no-brainer. Lukas Skiöld will go ahead of Griffin Paulson there.
Looked like we had a truck driver off that flat drop on the top. Look at how precise everything that he does on the bike is. This right here. Backflip, tail whip, bar spin. Straight into a truck to tail whip. That's where he started coming up a little bit short. Only a couple inches right there, but watch it compound as he comes down. You saw his back tire hang up right there. Did get the nollie to bar, but also hung up on that little tag on the spine right here.
Oh, that's what did it.
It's just never could get back in front of the momentum that he lost on that early case.
We got common senselessness with seemingly a good level of common sense saying that they agree with this decision to let the judges hold the scores until everybody's done their first run. I'm not sure what to make out of your username because you sound quite rational, but I agree with you. Common senselessness.
You see Lukas checking his spokes right there. That's a testament to those rear tire hangups. How he was able to get to the bottom was pretty impressive. We saw him stay focused and battle through in Christchurch as well.
Ooh, Jack Feick, one of the most exciting new up-and-coming riders, took a 13th at Christchurch a couple weeks ago. He was first at Sugarloaf Crankworx Summer Series last year, and I would say it is very obvious which rider he studies. If you watch his silhouette, you may be mistaking him for Emil Johansson. This kid has that tall, lengthy style, loves the 360 bar spin and tail up combinations, has a whole plethora of opposite maneuvers. We see Nicholi Rogatkin giving the all clear sign, given the wind test down there from mid-course. Jack Feick, the young Canadian, dropping in.
Yeah, the windsock down here is mellow as well. Opposite truck driver off the flat drop. Double downside, I believe that was opposite. Coming into this last upper jump right there, 360 double tail up, regular way. Was that a triple bar spin?
I think it was a double bar to X 360. Oh, now that looked like it could have potentially been a triple truck. We'll have to look back and see. Nose press, Sui to bar.
Big knack on the spine. Flip bar spin out of the whale tail.
Should have speed too.
Yeah, perfect double backflip right into the finish corral. Awesome, awesome run for Jack Feick.
I would say that was probably the first run we've seen properly go to plan today.
Yeah, the windsock is dying down. It was completely still down here. Nicholi was signaling in the middle of the course on that final jump at the upper section. Was good to go, and he made it happen. Took advantage of that situation.
Oh, opposite there off the top.
Yeah, opposite there as well, I believe, on the downside tail whip. So really, that's where those combos come in that you were talking about, the similarities of Emil Johansson, the ability to mix up the directions, not only the way he's spinning, but the way he's tail whipping, the way he's bar spinning. Unbelievable.
Jack, congrats on stomping that run right there. I would say that was the first run we've seen so far that actually went close to planned. Was that what you were hoping to stomp?
Almost everything. I missed like a couple things, but I'm super happy to get the bottom. It's so windy right now.
Yeah, what's it like being up at the top of the course, seeing so many riders have incomplete runs?
It's kind of scary, but I guess it worked. I'm so gassed right now. I'm actually so tired.
I believe it. We've seen some riders too gassed to even have speed for the final jump. Yeah. Good job out there. We're going to wait to see what the rankings were, and good luck in run number 2.
Thank you so much.
Completely winded.
Yeah, absolutely. Using everything you can to get down this course. Every transition is like a squat. Pumping those transitions, trying to keep the momentum, cutting through the wind.
Next up is going to be Jaden Chipman, the 11th ranked rider in the world currently. He was 15th at Christchurch. Solid run 1 in Christchurch, and then went off course in run number 2. So we have yet to see the potential manifest from this Canadian BMX crossover, honing his skills at the indoor park Joyride 150, and now accumulating enough points in the mountain bike slopestyle realm to find himself here at a diamond level event. Jaden Chipman on course.
Our first of 3 Canadians dropping in right there. 360 downside tail, 450 downside tail up over the hip. So super technical. Triple tail whip on that big floater. Here's the new jump right here. What's he got? Cash roll. Getting that rotation by the skin of his teeth. Double truck driver off the cannon. Nice little table on the hip. Needs to stay focused on speed. Big carving backflip on the spine. Truck driver on the step down, so speed should be good right here. What's he got on the final jump? Backflip to tail whip. Tail whip just coming around a little slow. It looked like his arms got a little bit ahead of that rotation. To the eye, it looks like they kick that tail whip with their feet, which they do, but it only goes around if your arms are in the same rhythm of the bike, and it looked like it got just a little bit in front of him. He wasn't able to hold on to it.
What a shame for Jaden Chipman. I was gonna say he's finally giving the judges some work to do here, but throwing it away on the final jump. That would have been pretty close to the run from Jack Feick.
Yeah, that 450 up high was an opposite downside tail whip. So smooth with that right there. You were talking about his BMX background. He was actually the first ever freestyle BMX national champion in Canada. So not just a background, but accomplished and awarded. And that was the first case that I saw out of him right there. Coming out of the cannon, that double truck. He hung up just a little bit, but a really good recovery. Perfectly smooth on that backflip. Landing right on the backside off this truck driver out of the whale tail. Yeah, it's here into the final. Where did it go wrong, Cam?
I think he had the speed. It was just maybe the timing on kicking that whip.
Yeah, sometimes when you're worried about speed, you'll suck up the lip to try to push through. And when you're doing a flip trick, that can speed up your rotation. And while he's doing a tail up, his feet are not on the pedals. When you're over-rotating, you can stretch out your body and slow down your rotation. But without your feet on the pedals, you just have no control over that.
Next up, Dane Folpp, the rider that I chose as my new favorite rider out here. The Australian climbing the ranks and earning his way into this diamond level event. He had a 10th at Christchurch, a first at Horseshoe Valley Resort on the Summer Series last year. Started out his run in Christchurch with that flat drop backflip bar spin. I'm really curious to see what he chooses for this run because he said he's trying to think outside the box as well.
Nice truck driver off of the drop. 450 tail whip to bar spin. Coming into this big booter right there. Bar spin, backflip to tail whip. Catching it nice right there. Was that opposite tail whip?
It looked like it was regular. It looked like he was catching with his front foot. And that's the same trick we saw him finish his run in Christchurch with. There we go, the super flip off the cannon.
Yeah, you spotted that out in practice on Thursday, getting full extension on that straight into a nose press to bar spin. 360X up on the spine. Backflip, bar to bar, 2 bar, 3 bar spin.
Triple.
On that backflip, can he seal it? Oh! And he nails it, double backflip can right there. Amazing, amazing run.
The same way he capped off his Christchurch run, that was flawless execution from the Australian Dane Folpp.
He's got his own backyard compound at home in Australia. Using that to push him to the 2025 Rookie of the Year.
Let's go.
What a run right there out of Dane Folpp. So the confidence for the riders back at the top is rising. The wind is dying. We're getting full runs right here.
Okay, the judges will really be weighing this run against the run from Jack Feick. Jack Feick playing to the strength of opposite tricks, similar to what you'd see from the rider Emil Johansson. And Dane Folpp just going, hey, I got a lot of bangers. I'm gonna see how many of them I can drop in one run.
Big floaty front flip right there. Landing up high on the transition.
There's where the creativity and the unique trick choices comes into play right there. That backflip Superman on the cannon.
Yeah, no transition on the cannon. It's just a flat lip, so you have to pull so hard. But watch how many times the bars go around. 1, 2, 3. Such a clean dialed bar spin. Almost reminds me of Daryl Taco's bar spin. If you guys follow freestyle BMX and street riding, the best bar spin ever.
How about no pedals on that run-in into the final jump, just pumping those 2 rollers and juicing that double backflip one-footed can-can. Judges love the subtleties as well, like not taking a pedal there, like squeezing in 3 bar spins on that backflip coming out of the step down.
Yeah, I missed the fronty sui, but it was clean anyway.
The commitment level for a triple bar spin backflip out of that whale tail. See, a step down, the hardest part is you can't see the landing when you take off. And everything is based on feel. You kind of, you know, your rotation and how far and how fast you're going is based on what you're looking at. And those step downs you can't see. Taking his hands off, throwing the bars 3 times, unbelievably technical.
Well, the veteran rider who's up to drop next took a second at Joyride 2023, which was his only slopestyle podium here in the Crankworx World Tour. We caught up with him while he was heading up for run number 1. This is what he had to say.
Yo guys, the course is running pretty good this year. The new jump in the middle is running really nice now with all the changes. I'm gonna try to do a nice technical and flowy run. Yeah, to make sure to have like a lot of points.
There's certain riders you can get to know through watching how they ride and how they approach these competitions. Paul Couderc is definitely one of those, never leaving any emotion on the course. Very excited to see what he's got for us today.
Just off the podium here a year ago, secured a 4th place. Currently ranked 9th in the world, a rider who not only competes in slopestyle, but puts together incredible free ride segments out in natural terrain. It's great to have him on the World Tour slopestyle. For those riders who are spreading out and diversifying themselves, Paul Couderc is one of them. Nicholi Rogatkin is another one. Those veteran riders who definitely spend a lot of the year on long travel bikes in natural terrain. It's so impressive. They can put in the work on the hardtail and keep their knife sharp for slopestyle, come out here and deliver year after year against the youth.
The Utes.
The Utes. I mean, look at 2 best runs we've seen so far for the men. Obviously, the judges are keeping their rankings and scores a secret until the end of run number 1, but Dane Folpp and Jack Feick are who he's competing against right now. Dropping.
Paul Couderc dropping in on that rider's right.
Oh, yeah!
Front flip off the step down. Such a gnarly trick. 450
yes,
double tail whip right there, getting a pedal in, keeping his momentum. And there's that 720.
Perfect.
Nice and corked out, keeping that rotation smooth. Opposite 360. So rotating both directions. Flip table off of the cannon, that was super unique. Flip bar to bar on that hip into the spine. What's he got? 360 table.
Yeah.
Flip whip out of the whale tail. What does Paul have? Some of the biggest tricks. What's he got? Double backflip.
Yeah!
Solid run. His weight was so forward.
Oh, I'm so glad he rolled out of that.
Able to hold on.
I am so glad he rolled out of that. He went to the moon on that double flip and landed front tire first. Looked like he wasn't expecting to land as soon as he did. His weight almost lunging forward, but able to muscle through and hold on. This was huge, starting this run off with the flat drop front flip.
Flat drop front flip, I call blind on blind. As you're going down, you can't see anything but your stomach.
He's actually done it on a full suspension bike on a downhill takeoff.
Paul Couderc, such a wild man right there. Look at the style on that 7 right there, corked out. Opposite 360, showing his versatility. You know, we've seen him 720 both directions, so maybe leaving a little on the hill. And right there, table backflip off the cannon.
And look at this, a lot of riders choosing to nose bonk and get a small little bar trick off of that stump, but he goes to the rider's right, uses that as another trickable feature. The flip whip on the step down, and then here's that double flip where he almost lost it.
Watch his back tire right here, just floating down the landing, basically doing a nose manual, teetering on the edge of disaster, but able to pull through.
You could do better, but you can do it. No. Yeah, but
man, I feel like top 3 right now. The judges will be comparing Paul's run with the run of Jack Feick, the run of Dane Folpp.
They say the score, no? In my place?
You see Paul Couderc wondering if the judges have announced the score or the ranking. They're keeping that one close to their chest until each rider has dropped their first run. Ooh, as we see Nicholi Rogatkin in the gate, a rider with 8 World Tour podiums, a rider who has won the Triple Crown. He did that in 2018. The only rider in the field here today who has won an event here on the legendary Crankworx Slopestyle in memory of McGazza course. Nicholi Rogatkin determined and dropping in. Yeah!
Right there, nice 720, fully corked out.
Oh!
Straight into the twister. Backflip bar spin to tail whip, so starting off huge.
Man, he's been training hard, hasn't he?
Right there, the cash roll. Did I see a seat grab?
Yep.
So keeping the combos going, 360 tail whip. Superman C-grab on that hip, such a difficult move. 360X on the spine, this is where speed's gonna become the most important. Double tail whip down. Get back
Nicholi, finish strong. Come on.
And the tail whip cash roll right there. Getting all of the bangers in one run right there.
Perfection in the execution category. Well-rounded trick choices. A veteran performance out of Nicholi Rogatkin.
Nicholi like a vampire feeding off of the next generation, inviting them to show him the way, him showing them how it's done. Perspective is such an important thing. He could get defensive, but no, he invites them. He's pushing this sport, and right here, started off with a huge cork 720 on the step down, right into this twister. That's a forward access corked 1080. Right into the bar spin to tail whip. Such a dangerous trick when you're fighting for speed. There's that behind the back seat grab. Cash roll right there. 360 tail whip off of the cannon. Such a difficult trick. You don't have the transition to get that rotation going. It's all muscle. 360X up on the spine. Double tail whip. Showing the confidence right there. He's not worried about speed. He's doing some of the most technical tricks right into this final jump. And the cash roll tail whip, watch the tires hit the ground at the exact same time. That is perfection.
To be fair, I don't think we've ever seen a rusty Nicholi Rogatkin, but I would say he's shinier than ever now with the addition of that California training compound, able to ride that throughout the winter and get ready for this season.
Amazing, amazing run out of Nicholi Rogatkin. I'm so stoked to see him back on his sharp end. Lukas Huppert here at the top.
Well, Lukas Huppert using tricks that he has that nobody else possesses, like that 360 tail up off of start drops to get a 6th place at Christchurch, move his world ranking up from 12th to 7th. Let's see what he's got here today.
Right there, 360 tail up off the drop, slips a pedal, gets a downside tail up right there, opposite. How did he maintain his composure right there? Front flip bar to bar, keeping the momentum going. What a recovery at the top. Double tail whip right there, coming off the cannon. Whoa! Another cash roll. No way! It's a tail whip. We were spotting that out earlier this week. Truck driver on the spine. Cork 7 down, step down. What's he got? Keep it together, Lucas. And a perfect cash roll to cap off that run. He was struggling and fighting for it at the top. So glad he kept it going right there after that first little bobble.
Perfect. What can we do?
And you see, he's not even quite happy. He's had a little
Safety well.
there at the top.
Did he just claim that as a safety?
He's bummed out about slipping pedals on this 360 tail up off the start drop. I know it.
But somehow pops out with an opposite tail whip, opposite downside tail whip on that hip. Front flip bar to bar, pumping that landing for everything it's got. You could kind of see him accelerate right there. Double tail whip on that new jump. And right there, cash roll off of the cannon, nose to tail whip. Reminds me of Biz Jordan back in the day, pioneer of the nollie tail whip. Cork 7 on the step down.
I think for me, some of the big standouts were the cash roll on the cannon and the cork 7 out of the step down. Lukas Huppert in his 8th season of slopestyle at the ripe young age of 25. He started so young. He knows that the way to put himself ahead of some of these youngsters is to take those tech rotations and do them on the step downs.
Yeah, he's really proving that veteran mentality. Earlier, he had a practice crash, blew up his rear tire, and a lot of times that just sort of, you know, gets you off your game. Your plan, you're trying to sort of make repeats on things that you've had done and created success. Sometimes those little mechanicals can completely throw you off, but he's a veteran.
You got your head back. Yeah. 3-whip drop is hard. It's the only thing I can tell you guys.
Yeah, we believe you. That's why nobody else is doing it. He's commenting on the 3-whip drop. He says it's hard, I swear. Yeah, Justin Skinner 31 saying good luck to the judges. That was a banger. I agree. I'm trying to like kind of have my own rankings here and see if I can, you know, play the game a little bit and see who I would put in which position. Trying to imagine how challenging this is for the judges, but I love the fact that we're giving them some more time.
Got a fan right there, Lucas Huppert jersey from a previous event. We got Hooper fans.
Well, thanks for watching us right now. Crankworx Slopestyle in memory of McGazza coming at you live on the Crankworx YouTube channel. If you haven't hit that like button yet, do so now, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. And also in the chat box, let us know who you think the top 3 are right now as we get a look at the next rider we'll see take to this legendary slopestyle course. It's the German rider, Tobey Miley.
27 top 10 finishes, 13 podiums, and 39 starts. He's been doing this for a moment.
The 12th at Christchurch. His biggest result in the Diamond event was that 5th at Joyride last year. Gave him a lot of points to secure spots to this season's Diamond Series. The Diamond level events on the Slopestyle Super League, I should say.
Didn't have the runs he wanted in Christchurch, so he's definitely going to be looking to lay it down right here and get some Super League points. 360 double bar spin off the flat drop. Double downside tail whip on the hip. Getting nice pump right there over that hip. Backflip bar spin, 2 tail whip. Nice cork 7. Oh, it comes up just a little bit short. His rotation was a little bit slow. And he ended up having to pull that final 360 of his rotation around. Maybe he hurt his wrist or his elbow right there. Let's hope he's gonna be okay. He's gonna drop back in right here, see if he can get himself to the bottom. You never know when half a point is all you need. Tobey Miley salvaging this run, coming into the finish line. Just keeping it safe, getting up and over that jump.
Yeah, we have Jester 1411 in the chat saying the riders seem to be struggling with maintaining speed. So true, the wind started blowing this morning and the riders are having to adapt, and it's really imperative to choose tricks that you know you have on lock, because if you push the envelope a little bit too far, one little tag can be all that it takes to derail the speed needed to put down a top to bottom run. Chance Moore, next rider in the gate.
Yeah,
currently ranked 3rd in the world.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked so much about Chance over the last year. It's easy to forget that it was only 1 year ago here, his inaugural Crankworx Slopestyle event. Consistent top 5. You look at his finish list.
I mean, he cracked the podium in Australia last year with a 3rd. Started the season in Christchurch this year with a 4th. Moved his world ranking from 5th to 3rd. This is one of the top dogs to beat out here. Honing his skills on his training compound in BC. We saw him use the new shootout format to his advantage and move up the rankings. He chose that front flip bar spin on the top drop. Curious what strategy he's planning here for run number 1 in a round 1 where a lot of riders have been going down. Chance Moore dropping in.
Dropping in on that rider's left. Big cork 7 to start it off on the step down.
He made that look way too easy.
Yeah, perfect slow rotation. Backflip tail up. A little bit short right there. He's back on the pedals. Oh, front flip bar to bar. Little bit of a case. Saw him that little bit of nose manual right there, so he's really fighting for speed right now.
Having to sacrifice a trick on a feature now.
Opposite 270 bar spin on that hip. Nice recovery, regular truck driver on the spine. Backflip tail whip out of the whale tail. Oh, nice little nose press to manual into a double backflip. So definitely leaving a little bit to play for up on the top, but an amazing recovery right there out of Chance Moore.
That flip whip on the step down, almost thinking that was an opposite tail, but I'm not sure.
I think you might be right. It did not look normal.
The case! Oh, you mean the nose manual of Doom? No, the case on the flip whip.
preceded by the nose manny of doom. Preceded by the nose manny of doom. No!
So he made that cork 7 up top out of the step down look far too easy. Here's that flip whip he's talking about right here. And we had just mentioned the fact that a key to the game today is not coming up short because it's a chain reaction. I'm really going to be looking closely at that flip whip out of the whale tail after the spine. You would think a strategist like Chance Moore would maybe be wanting to complement a backflip tail up on the second feature with a backflip opposite tail up out of the whale tail. Let's see. If he's kicking clockwise, then it will be opposite. He is! Backflip opposite tail up out of the step down. I love to see the fact that he didn't just throw out the surrender flag and he put this run down to the finish.
Common senseless, making more sense.
I know. He says this guy can shake things out, especially if he takes it relatively safe and drops a hammer trick in the shootout. So true. The shootout is a game changer. Let's hear Nicholi.
But I mean, no.
He's beating himself up.
Yeah, whatever. What's up, guys? Yeah.
Guess what, Chance? That run will probably still score well. He's still got a second run and the shootout if you're within 10 points of the top 3.
Wait, what did you say?
Chance, one of the riders that you see getting the most out of these opportunities, just really enjoying every bit of it. Him and his sister traveling the world, riding bikes. Have a huge training compound back home in Canada.
Once again, if you're just joining us, judges tasked with ranking these riders, and then we will reveal scores at the end of run number 1. The riders will know where they sit before they take to the course for run number 2. We will then take the top 3 and any rider within 10 points of the top 3, and we'll let them choose a feature on the course to do an additional trick on. They will be able to add the score from that trick back into their best run score, eliminating most of the potential for a victory lap out here in slopestyle.
What feature would you choose, Cam, if you were in the shootout?
It depends on what kind of rider I am. If I was Chance Moore, I would probably choose the heaviest move from that run, which would be that backflip opposite tail up out of the step down. A crazy opposite technical trick like that on a step down is something that judges love. And we see in the start gate now, Erik Fedko worked hard for years to get his first Crankworx World Tour slopestyle win. He did it in Christchurch, the first event where we unveiled this shootout format. He definitely earned that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Twice.
It was his to lose after he'd already scored the top to bottom run score for the day. And then he had bumped out of that top spot, had to stomp his big shootout trick, which was a 360 down, side tail up, catching the bike with his hand, and then extending the legs into an Indian air.
That move bumping him from 4th back into 1st place in that shootout.
But man, is he ever strong right now. Expect to see him with huge amplitude, a rider whose strength is carrying speed. So on a day like today where there's potentially a headwind, hopefully he can be smart about what tricks he chooses and carry speed.
Fedko on course right here, dropping in riders left. What's he got? 360 bar spin and tail whip right there, a little under rotated, but able to correct his position right there. Double back flip, landing up high on the transition. 360 downside tail whip, catches the seat with his hand, Indian air. Oh no, right there.
Wow, Erik Fedko separating from the bike, ejecting. That was tough to watch.
Yeah, it was a rotation tail up trick of some sort he was going for, but it looked like as soon as he kicked the bike, the balance and everything got off right there.
Oh, man.
Kind of just fell out of the sky, landing very, very low in the transition. Huge impact for Erik Fedko. But let's not forget what we've seen out of Fedko. He has that never say die, lion heart attitude. We've seen him not be able to walk and complete runs here.
Man, that was brutal. Oh, look back at this run that started brilliantly. A bit of an under rotation there on the truck to tail whip out of the step down. But this was that trick that he chose in the shootout in Christchurch. Perfect here. And let's see if we get to see where it was like a fighter pilot hitting the ejection seat. Talk to me, Goose.
Double backflip right there. And this is so perfect. Look at that landing.
All right,
and right here, here we had a problem.
He was going, he missed the seat grab. No way. Ooh, the right hip's got to be feeling it.
So he was going for another Indian Air Superman seat grab 360 and completely missed his hand.
Oh man, right wrist, right shoulder, those have got to be feeling it right now. Great to see him up and cruising around.
Yeah, big impact right there for Erik Fedko.
Man, one rider left to go in run one for the men here at the Crankworx Slopestyle in memory of McGazza. It is your #1 ranked rider in the world. Taking a silver medal in Christchurch 2 weeks ago. He was the 2024 Red Bull Joyride champion, the Triple Crown winner in 2024, the year that he won Red Bull Joyride. A rider with 10 podiums. I would say he's a rider who treats this sport like a mainstream athlete, takes his fitness and his training off the bike just as seriously as he treats his training on the bike.
Yeah, this man is Triple C, calm, cool, and collected, and I think he smells blood with a couple of his biggest competitors having slip-ups in their first run.
I love this behind-the-scenes series Crankworx YouTube channel is doing called Unfiltered. There's one clip where the riders are cruising around downtown of Christchurch, and they see David Godziek with his jogging shorts on, just getting a nice morning run in. An athlete, the definition of an athlete here. We're about to see what he has in store for us in run #1 of 2. Here we go. From Poland, David Godziek dropping in.
Backflip, bar spin off the flat drop. Tail whip 3 times around right there. See what he's got in this big floater. No-handed twister. 1080 forward off axis with his hands off.
No pedals.
Front flip, no-hander. Super clean. 360 bar to bar. Off of this.
Whoa. Did he grab with his hand? I think so.
Yeah. Tough no-hander. This is an amazing run so far right there. Gets the cash roll out of the step down. What's he got on this final jump?
The cash
roll tail right there. Landing up high. Perfect rotation. Amplitude, execution, extension. David Godziek has all of the factors you need to win events like this. We talk about BMX background. He has the highest honor in BMX with an X Games gold medal in BMX. That tail up going around 3 times. Staying nice and low, looking smooth. There is that off-axis, forward spinning 1080 rotation with his hands off. I heard somebody saying he can't do it without doing the no-hander. It's just too comfortable going hard.
I would say he has slopestyle down to a science. As soon as we saw him do that front cork 1080 no-hander, the twister no-hander in the middle of the course, I thought, well, he's already used that. He's not going to be able to use it on the final jump. And then so smart, a trick that he's really comfortable with, he chose for the final jump. That cash roll tail whip. You see a cash roll on the step down now. Judges love to see a trick like that on a difficult feature like the step down. But right here, what this is a cash roll, but with the tail up. So it's a front cork 720. He flings the bike around, catches it early. He has more. So when I say he has this sport down to a science, it's because that was spotless. But believe it or not, he has more for run #2.
Yeah, I think amazingly, his mind was already in the next run right there. Knowing that he can elevate that final trick. He was hinting at some combinations, a world's first in Christchurch during the shootout. He wasn't able to get that off, but to be able to have, for a second run, a way to one-up at the very bottom after having that top section so unbelievably clean, this man is very, very smart.
There's a reason he's ranked #1 in the world, and you know, seeing him drop last, it's like putting on a clinic. We saw so many riders struggle, and then the boss just drops in and makes it look easy.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he did right there. I'm looking at him, he's smiling, he's having a good time. so relaxed, using that to his advantage. You didn't see him scrambling for speed or anything like that. It was perfect.
A reminder to the fans and viewers joining us live right now on the Crankworx YouTube channel. The judges are given the opportunity today for the first time ever to wait to publish their scores until every rider has dropped. We will have those scores and those rankings for you after the break, as well as run number 2 for the women and the men. Stick around. Rotorua, the home of mountain biking in Aotearoa. Legendary trails, world-class hero dirt, and adventure around every corner.
At the top of the run, take a couple breaths, try to clear my mind, let go of the brakes and go for it.
The design actually represents, it's called a manaya, which is a half profile figure. I hope they got more feeling of pride when they got the medal, as I did creating it.
Yes. Welcome back, Crankworx Slopestyle in memory of McGazza. We just saw an insane run 1 for the men. We allowed the judges some extra time to solidify their rankings and their scores. Now it's time to reveal those scores right now. The riders are just as in the dark as the rest of us are. They're wondering what they got to do in run number 2. We are about ready to start popping the cork on this. Here we go. In 8th place, Lukas Skiöld. 7th place, Chance Moore. 6th is Jack Feick. And in 5th place after run number 1 is Lukas Huppert. Meaning I'm taking a look right now in the finish crowd next to the McGazza Money Booter at our top 4 from run 1 today. The big question is, what will the order be? Tobey Miley issues in run number 1. In 12th, Griffin Paulson. In 11th, Erik Fedko, that huge crazy crash. In 10th, hopefully we see him back up there for run number 2. Jaden Chipman in 9th. There we go. We see Nicholi Rogatkin, Couderc, David Godziek, and Dane Folpp. But the big question is, who has the top score of the day? Here we go. Drum roll, please. In 4th place, it's going to be Couderc with a score of 82. In 3rd place, who will it be? Will it be? It's going to be Dane Folpp with an 85. Ooh, looks like I had him in my rankings as 3rd, so I was right on that one. Now, we know when we see who's in 2nd, it tells us who the top rider from run number 1 will be. Who's it going to be between Nicholi Rogatkin and David Godziek? In 2nd place, we have Nicholi Rogatkin with a 90 flat. Now, what will the difference in score be? How far ahead is David Godziek from Nicholi Rogatkin? It is 2 points ahead. David Godziek, number 1 ranked rider in the world, the number 1 rider here today from run number 1, 92.
So David Godziek being 2 points ahead of Nicholi Rogatkin. That is achievable with 5 points available in the shootout. David Godziek can't lose any points, but Nicholi has the ability when we get to the shootout, if it's not already happened from these second runs, he can make enough points to surpass that, so he's in the hunt.
And there is so much at play here with not only the points from these individual runs, but the rankings from these individual events, which make up the points that buy yourself qualification for the World Championship round in Mont Saint Anne, Quebec. Any rider who is not already qualified through these early gold and diamond events will go to the playoffs, which will take place at Silver Star Resort in BC. Another new addition to the format here today, which I know these fans we're seeing on screen are going to love. After the 2 runs are complete, the top 3 riders and any of the riders who are within 10 points of the top 3 will participate in our shootout round, which means they get to the top of the course. They tell us which feature they want to do one additional trick on. If they drop that trick, the judges then add points to their top score on a scale of 1 through 5. And we're thinking about the strategy that goes into this, Alan. Where else can you pick up a potential 5 points? That would be way harder to do in the context of a second run. But for the shootout, if you have a big banger, you hold on to it, you may be able to skyrocket yourself into medal contention.
Yeah, definitely. This new format is keeping everybody on their toes, including ourselves.
So I'm curious what the judges think about this new format. We know that these ideas came from the riders, which is the most important part. The riders are trying to advance the sport of slopestyle and try something new and experimental, but that puts a lot of extra pressure on the judges. Peter Henke, the head judge, is joining us now. This is the second time we've now done the shootout, but it's the first time we're withholding the run 1 scores. What are your thoughts on these new formats?
I have to say I like it. It gives us judges more time to reflect on the runs after everyone did their first run. So we still can kind of re-rack some stuff, especially with the anchor score in the beginning of the competition. We can adjust this. Yeah, so I like it.
A lot of viewers in the comments have over the years said, you know, so-and-so's robbed because they went early. Do you think that this structure helps eliminate that potential?
Definitely, because our goal is always to keep the headroom as big as possible, so we can always fit riders above. And now we can re-rack it after the first run and see if the scores are good or if we have to change something.
Love it. I also love the shootout, so I'm looking forward to that as well. Thanks for joining us, Peter. Now I want to talk to the 3rd member of our team up at the top of the course, Katie Winton. Katie, when we get into that shootout round, we're going to be throwing it up to you to read the room, get the pulse on the riders, and what feature they're choosing for their shootout score. What do you think of run 1 so far, and what's the vibe like up there?
Vibe's good up here. I think the women are going to be looking for redemption. The wind has been playing a massive factor in this. You might have seen some of the riders referencing Alex's phone. That's because they're getting live updates from the windsock down the bottom to try and judge what they're going to do on their runs. It's really, really hard. These riders are pulling their biggest tricks and hardest tricks on every single feature, and that is already hard when the conditions are perfect. So with this wind, it adds up a whole new level for these riders of difficulty. So I'm looking forward to seeing what these ladies can do under these conditions and pulling together a full run.
Absolutely. I think the topic of conversation up there for you, you're hearing the word wind a lot, so maybe we'll start a drinking game every time you hear the word wind. We'll throw it back up to you periodically through the event, and then especially in the shootout. Thanks for chatting with us, Katie. All right, so the top 2 riders from run number 1 were David Godziek and Nicholi Rogatkin. Let's take this opportunity to look at their runs, split screen side by side, and really put ourselves in the position of the judges and see how they made those decisions.
So riders choosing different entrances into this course. Another level of variables for the judges to be able to keep an eye on what is good. You see these riders, different styles, absolute bangers all the way down. The thing I had to pinpoint maybe that stood out the most in these runs for me is where the back tires were landing on all of these riders, on all of Nicholi and David's tricks right there.
Did he flick it with his hand? We were both wondering. We still don't know.
I couldn't quite tell just because that reverse camera angle, but the way that the tail whip came around did look like that is what happened. But look at that, landing up high on the transitions. That is the thing that you have to do on a day like this where the conditions are playing a role, is be perfect.
I would say the go-to move on the bottom jump, if you have it in your trick repertoire, has to be that cash roll tail up. Top 2 riders using that on the final jump.
Yeah, absolutely. The reason for that is with any forward rotation, you're going to be able to push your momentum through the jump and really kind of fight that wind in a better way.
And you're seeing those decisions made by those veteran riders, knowing, hey, today's going to be one of those days where it's hard to carry speed. Let's pick a smart trick on the last jump.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it, the last trick I would ever try in headwind is a front flip, because I would always just go straight up and never make the jump anyways.
Well, there's so much to do out here in Rotorua. Just outside town sits one of New Zealand's legendary rafting runs, the Kaituna, a tight jungle river winding through dense native forest. It's fast, it's technical, and it does not let up. Right in the middle of it all is Tutea Falls, which is 7 meters straight down. It is the highest commercially rafted waterfall on the planet. It has big drops, short rapids, no quiet sections. We have to do that someday.
Yeah, that is not a mellow section right there. That river is definitely fierce.
Well, we had the specialized waterfall drop on the specialized Couderc downhill course, which took place yesterday. I feel like that drop right there is as tall as the Tutea Falls, about 7 meters, potentially 21 feet tall. And yesterday's downhill was more of the same, carrying on the momentum from our top riders in Christchurch at stop number 1, where Jenna Hastings and Luke Meyer-Smith both qualified first and backed it up in the race. We saw immaculate performances out of both of them yesterday.
Yeah, Luke Meyer-Smith making it happen up high. Had a couple of mistakes down at the bottom, but was able to hold on to it. Conditions also playing a little bit of a role in the downhills, but awesome, awesome races.
Jenna Hastings and Luke Meyer-Smith asserting their dominance and winning big at the specialized Couderc downhill. Somebody out there on the Crankworx YouTube page right now can win big as well. We are going to give away this beautiful t-shirt here commemorating Crankworx Rotorua 2026. You can get a shirt like this only 2 ways. You can be here and buy it from the merch tent, or you can entertain us in the comment section of the Crankworx YouTube channel. We will catch up with you at the end of the show right now and let you know who we are mailing this shirt to. As I mentioned, I am following along with the chats. I did write back to you a minute ago. One of you had mentioned we need to get the casserole police out there, saying that there wasn't enough variety in the top run, from David Godziek saying there's too many casseroles. It's a good hot take. What do you think?
I don't know, throwing in variations with all of them, I don't know, it's like really, it's your style, you know? It's your paintbrush out there on the course, and I'm the worst at picking favorites. I'm so glad I'm not judging, because every run is kind of my favorite run. It's hard for me to pick any of those top runs apart.
I would say the judges were like, all right, well, one of them was a twister. Okay, cool. The other one was on a step down, so that's, you know, a variation. And then one of them had a tail up, so, you know, you're putting a different spin on each of them. So when we pick action back up, it will be run number 2 for the women, where currently Shealen Reno out of the United States of America is leading the charge with a 73.25, followed by Harriet Burbidge-Smith and Robin Goomes. Harriet, look at this, sitting in podium contention right now. You love to see it. It would be great to see her get one of those top spots, and she's also a rider who has those variation tricks. She's positioned herself well to be within striking distance. Now, first rider we will see is world number 1 ranked rider Alma Wiggberg. Issues in run number 1, but if anybody can pick up the pieces and swoop the rug out from under our top riders right now, it's going to be Alma Wiggberg.
I love this new format. 2 opportunities for Alma right now. She's got things to think about. You could push it all the way for the lead right now, or just get within 10 points of that top spot and push it on in the shootout.
So second feature on the course, this 90-degree angled left hip. Really technical and challenging to flip a hip. The way she's flipping that hip is she's kind of leaning the wrong way off of it. I'm wondering if she's going to try that again, or if she's going to
toboggan off her step down.
Yeah, smart.
Tuck no-hander. Right there on that hip where we saw trouble. Catching the backside that time. Nice.
There we go.
360 nose down. Little of a rotation. Slight hang up, but back on the pedals. Can she get over?
Come on,
keep going.
Oh, not enough speed for
Not
Alma.
enough speed for the cannon, unfortunately. Just maybe a little bit of lack of aggression in the riding. You kind of heard the riders at the bottom and how heavy they were breathing, having to put all of their energy into every single transition to make it to the bottom.
Alma will not be within 10 points of the podium spots, so we will not see her in the shootout round. Unfortunate for one of the most decorated athletes in women's slopestyle to not be able to contend for the win out here today, but doing it for the fans of that backflip bar spin on the McGazza money booter.
Yeah, how perfect was that? Just leaving a little bit out there, you know. Remind us of how perfect and how big some of those tricks that she has are.
So I'm really excited that she didn't try to do that flip again. It just wasn't working. She was hipping the wrong way and landed sideways. I'm stoked that it did not result in a crash in run number 1, but it was a smart choice to switch it up to a tuck no-hander. This 360 slightly over-rotated, started the trend of lost speed there.
Yeah, it was quite nosedive on that 360, and that tightens up the axis of your rotation and speeds it up just a little bit. She was able to save it, not crash, but unfortunately it took out her speed and probably the most important part of the track.
So to give context to the viewers out there, in this 3rd season for the women here in Crankworx Slopestyle, a 360 is a heavy move right now that is going to score high. There are no small features on this course. The final feature being a straight up, straight down trick money booter, and Robin Goomes throwing 360s, Alma Wiggberg throwing 360s, Johanna Nussbaumer throwing 360s. We saw her 360, the first straight jump, the 3rd feature on the course in run number 1. It looked like it was one of the cleanest threes we've seen all day. She might even have a variation. Johanna Nussbaumer dropping in with a bar spin off the start drop.
Bar spin to X up on the hip, so one-upping her previous run already. See if she can keep that momentum going. Gets that truck driver right there. She does get the double combo. 360 bar spin, tuck no-hander, staying nice and high on those landings.
Oh!
No-footed can-can.
This straight up could be the winning run.
Off of the cannon. Toboggan right there. She's tricking everything. Nice and smooth up over the spine. Suicide no-hander in. Let's go, Johanna. Let's see this. What do you got?
Final jump. Back bar spin.
Comes up just a little short, but amazing run right there. Battling the conditions. You see her grabbing her helmet, surprising herself. Currently in 4th, but I imagine this is going to bump her up just a little bit.
Johanna Nussbaumer has arrived. That was next level here in the women's field. Fellow German Erik Fedko congratulating her on a stellar top-to-bottom run. Starting out with a hammer. Bar spin off the top drop is definitely strong trick choice here, where the level of talent is currently in the women's field.
Ooh. And right there, 360 bus driver kind of busting out. We saw her kind of look for it in that first run, but able to get it off. Tuck no-hander, off that cannon, no-footed can. Nice and smooth, toboggan over. You see how many of these obstacles she is tricking. So important to get something off on almost every obstacle. Suicide no-hander in, and right here, getting this flip combo in with a backflip bar spin.
Yeah, Luke Robson, what's up, Luke? Luke was our sound engineer all the years we were lucky enough to be in Cairns on the Crankworx World Tour, and he's saying the women's field is stepping it up. So true, good observation there, Luke. This is next level talent arriving here. The 2025 season's Red Bull Rookie of the Year delivering here in Rotorua.
You can see almost that out-of-body experience she's having right there. You know how many times she's probably watched this at home, and now she's in the mix and definitely contending for a top spot on that podium. Currently ranked 4th. Her score comes through, 92.5. Johanna Nussbaumer goes into 1st place.
She says, I'm here. All right, everybody, let's see what you got.
Looking at the phone right there, that is a live feed of this lower windsock. This Kelly McGazza Memorial track is so long, you can't see the bottom from the top.
Women's slopestyle so young. We're seeing right after a kind of revolutionary run from Johanna Nussbaumer, the youngster, we see the first ever winner of a Crankworx slopestyle event in the women's category. Robin Goomes at the top, getting the win checks. Gonna try her hand at staying at the level of women's slopestyle. Currently, she's a 2-time Red Bull Rampage champion. Basically, every historic opportunity in women's freeride, she's been capitalizing on them, being the first woman to win a slopestyle event and Red Bull Rampage.
Yeah, I remember Robin breaking out on the scene, being the first female to backflip in competition in Innsbruck during the speed and style competition. So cool to see her elevate not only the sport, but her game as well. That sock is looking pretty nice right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same. We know the crowd will be getting loud for the Kiwi here. The legend Robin Goomes. Let's see if she has what it takes to contend with Johanna Nussbaumer.
Ooh, I love this when they're kind of running through the motion of their run, trying to figure out what they got in the bag. Working her way mentally down to the bottom. Visualization, such an important part of pulling any of these tricks.
Women's slopestyle so young, this only being the 3rd season on the World Tour. This is almost like seeing Paul Bass going up against Emil Johansson. We've got all the generations represented here, but it's only been around for 3 years. All right, Robin has been working on the 360s. We saw her stomping those in practice. Something to note, though, she's riding that full suspension bike, which on a day today where speed is a challenge, it's going to carry a little bit less. Here we go, the Sui to start things off.
Suicide off of the step down, drop in. Backflip can right there, gets a little corked out, back on the pedals. Another backflip right there, able to land up high. There's a regular knack right there, slight case, but back on the pedals. Can she get off the cannon? She's up and over,
keep
losing a little more momentum, doesn't stop this time, clears the hip, so this will be a full run. If she can get down this whale tail. Backflips off the step down. We have not seen her do that before. What she got on the final jump.
Come on, get the spin. Come on, Robin.
Does not have the speed to make it to the landing, but able to pull it off.
So much energy is zapped every time you come up short on a landing. You gotta give it to her for chucking that 360 on the McGazza money booter.
Robin Goomes taking tricks that she's comfortable with onto new obstacles, flipping that whale tail into the final jumps. We talked about it a little bit. It's completely blind. All you can see is the lip, so the timing is all by feel.
So much energy exhausted here in this run, just sprinting down each landing. The backflip, one-footed can coming up a little bit short. She had the backflip knack in run number 1. Playing it safe, pushing through, trying to get that distance here in run number 2.
Yeah, showing that those smarts right there, noticing speed was a thing, so making a little bit of a change right there, but I don't think that's gonna hurt the overall score. Getting that knack, and that's where speed really started becoming the issue. We saw her case this in the first run, but this time able to keep going and make a full pull, and right here was something new.
I can't believe she had the speed for this step down flip.
Boom, stomped it.
A little bit of a tag there, which would make it really challenging to clear this jump, not to mention 360 it, but she goes for it anyways. Complete go for it attitude from Robin Goomes. Let's listen.
I was like, crank, pump, no more cranks. I was like, oh my God.
That was like one of those dreams when you're being chased and you're just trying to go fast, but your little legs can't do it.
I was there like, I was in fucking mode. I was like, we're fucking. If I'm on the bike, I'm doing it.
Oh, Brett Reeder weighing into the conversation. He's one of the 5 riders who has won this event in the men's category of the past 12 runnings of it. Yeah, look at that. Robin moves up into second with an 82.25.
I believe that's just shy of first place right now by 0.25.
Yeah, so sick.
Looking at the scores right now, Johanna Nussbaumer with a 10-point pad actually there. She's got a 92.5. Robin Goomes slotting into second place with an 82.25 as we welcome Harriet Burbidge-Smith into the start tower. She took the bronze medal at Christchurch, delivered in the shootout. She is currently sitting off the podium now in 4th. Big opportunity here for Harriet Burbidge-Smith, dropping in with the toboggan off the start drop.
Little bit of a tuck no-hander right there, having to make a correction already. Keeping her course, what she got on this nice smooth backflip right there, staying much higher on the landing than in the first one. A little bit of a straight combo right there, off of the cannon, staying smooth, getting over it. Just trying to keep this run going, up and over the spine. Off the whale tail, maybe saving for something big right here on the finish line.
Oh, Harriet not able to trick the final feature. She really needed to do so if she was going to secure a spot on the podium. Shealen Reno in 3rd place right now with a 73.25. Shealen, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough from Harriet, but now we're going to be revealing scores instantly from run number 2, so we're moments away from finding out. Yeah, we saw Harriet do a tuck no-hander on the last jump in run number 1, so I'm not sure if she was thinking repeat that or something new. A little bit lacking on the extension on that second feature tuck no-hander, wasn't she?
Yeah, just a little bit off rhythm from that point on, down to the bottom, and wasn't able to really maximize the opportunity pulling the tricks that we know she can do.
Well, the flip was flawless up top. All right, so another new addition to the scoring today. If the run did not improve in the second run, you will see a DNI right there. Save ourselves some time and move on to the next rider. Harriet Burbidge-Smith will sit on that 65.75 from run number 1, which currently is within 10 points of the top 3. So we may see her in the shootout unless things shake up here. Shealen Reno next to drop, currently sitting in bronze position. She was the winner from the first event of this season in Christchurch, and she's been the most consistent rider in women's slopestyle so far.
Yeah, definitely really figuring out the rhythm of her competition format, sticking to the things that she knows how to do, elevating when she can. We saw her go upside down in that first run. That was a new one for us. Double fist pump. Shealen is ready to go.
Shealen Reno very much within striking distance of Robin Goomes here. And she chooses to rotate again. Here we go.
Tuck no-hander on the hip right there. This is where we saw her go upside down in the first run. Does it again, pulling it nice and clean. Gets a pedal in on that landing. We heard that is the way to keep the speed going. Off the cannon right there, no footer. A little bit of a can right there. Oh, hangs up. A little bit of a bounce. Can she get enough pump off of this spine to get down the whale tail?
She really needs a trick off this final jump. That's what she missed in run number 1. What she got, Alan?
Yeah! Superwoman C-grab right there, just missing the hand.
That's exactly what she needed to do, but unfortunately, missing the grip coming back on from that Superman C-grab. We'll see again in the replay, but I feel like she slipped a pedal and maybe missed the hand.
Grabbing that collarbone right there.
Best super seat I've seen you do. All right. Say.
You all right?
Shealen Reno picking herself up off the ground after really going for it there, trying to improve her score, needing to stomp a trick on the final feature, going for that Superman C-crab now, feeling that left collarbone. Harriet Burbidge-Smith helping her out. We're getting information from the judges right now. We're taking a look at the scores. And we're gonna watch this replay first, but then I think we've got a new circumstance here with our new format. But first, a look back at this run from Shealen Reno. Clean on that backflip up in the middle of the course. Almost thought she wasn't gonna get that no-footed cam, but it was just delayed. She got both feet over the top tube, extended nicely, and the whole time we're thinking, all right, she needs a trick on the final jump. That was the main hole in run number 1 for her. We know she's been working on that Superman seat grab. We saw her use that at the first stop in Christchurch. I feel like it was great extension. We're gonna get a look at it again here and also see what went wrong.
Yeah, let's see what we can see right here. Nice extension right there.
Snapping it. Ooh, the feet go in front of the pedals too, don't they?
Just missed the pedals. That's one of those pieces of that trick as you're throwing your bike back under. If you're getting a hurry, as it looked like maybe she was, looks like a DNI right there, did not improve. So rank number 3 right there. She's gonna land herself up on that podium. Yeah, a bit of a rough slam right there for Shealen, but looking pretty good right there. Top 3, Johanna Nussbaumer, Robin Goomes, and Shealen Reno. Look at the gaps right there. the Rookie of the Year, is coming in and just swooping. All right, we got Cam down in the corral with Johanna Nussbaumer. What do you got, Cam?
Johanna, I'm kind of just reading your energy right now, and I feel like you're just trying to wrap your head around what just happened. Your first Crankworx World Tour slopestyle start, and you just secured the gold medal. What does that feel like?
Unbelievable. I don't have any words. I'm just super stoked, and I wanted to make myself proud, and yeah, can't believe it.
So not only did you just win today's competition, but we have the new shootout format. Basically, anybody within 10 points of the top 3 goes into the shootout round. You were over 10 points ahead of second place, so the competition is over. You have secured the win, basically making history out here. What do you want to say to the Rotorua crowd for cheering you on?
Always believe in yourself and have fun. Yeah.
Congratulations, Johanna Nussbaumer, your gold medalist in the Crankworx slopestyle in memory of McGazza. Let's bring her gold medal.
Johanna Nussbaumer having a bit of an out-of-body experience here today in Rotorua. Such a solid second run, doing exactly what she needed to do. Absolutely stomping it. It's not easy to win, is it? You get Red Bull in your eyes.
Show us the middle.
Alan, as we were kind of discussing potential circumstances that could arise with the shootout format, we thought about the fact that this could potentially happen last night, didn't we? Weren't sure it was going to happen today, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tall order to beat your competitors by 10 points, but the conditions did play a role, and Johanna Nussbaumer played those conditions perfect, utilizing the perfect low wind moments, pulling off that truck driver, one-upping her first run, really honing in on having to trick every obstacle on the way down. Just making it happen out here today. So cool to see the Rookie of the Year last year out here in her very first Crankworx slopestyle, absolutely dominating the day.
How about the progression in women's slopestyle? This is the 3rd season. We're only the 2nd stop of the 3rd season, and we're already seeing a youngster emerge right now doing a truck driver and a backflip bar spin in run number 1 to secure the win. Did we think we'd be seeing that this soon in the game?
I mean, I definitely did not. I wouldn't say I had any ideas that they wouldn't be able to, but that's just proof of what Crankworx is doing, not only for the women's side, but really creating these platforms for them to come out and perform. It's elevating the sport for sure.
Johanna Nussbaumer definitely following in the footsteps of Patricia Druin, who unfortunately wasn't able to compete today. She woke up feeling ill, but she was ripping in practice. She is definitely the rider. You know, she has won an event, but we were expecting her to, you know, be asserting her dominance, but she basically showed what's possible for the women's field, and Johanna has very much been taking notes.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this season to continue and to see these women back on the next courses as we get through the season, because as you said, the level is elevating, and you see them starting to battle each other, not just making it through, and it's getting really, really good.
Run number 2 for the men will be the next item of business on our itinerary. A little bit tighter scores we see in the men's field now, though.
Yeah, definitely. David Godziek on top with that 92. Nicholi Rogatkin, my man, I've felt something in the air all week long with him, sitting only 2 points behind in 2nd place. Some of the other riders that had issues, you see Fedko down there in 10th with a 31.25. You know he has what it takes. Lukas Skiöld, also a rider that had issues.
So curious if we're going to see some of those riders with heavy slams in run number 1 take to the course in run number 2. Erik Fedko being one of them. We saw him basically hit the eject button and fall out of the sky, landing on his right side. Be surprised to see him up on the start list because of that crash, but maybe not so much because we know the level of determination in the rider who won the first stop of this 2026 season, currently leading the Slopestyle Super League.
And that's the importance, you know, you can't really just, oh, well, I'll get him on the next one. This is a big season, the Super League. You do not want to leave any points at any event.
First rider up in run number 2 will be Tobey Miley, a rider who battled issues in run number 1. Huge result at Joyride last year, 5th place, earning those points to secure invitations to the 2026 Super League.
Tobey up there just waiting for the wind to cooperate with his plans, how he's going to make his way down this course.
So Tobey Miley waiting for the right opportunity to drop run 2, waiting for the wind to calm down. Looks like he likes what he sees. Tobey Miley on course.
360 bar to bar, off the flat drop, double downside tail whip on that hip. Keeping his speed on that little long and low hip right there. Backflip.
Oh yeah.
Bar spin, 2 tail whip. Backflip, bar to bar. So he's made it further down the track. Backflip tail whip off of the cannon. Nose bump, looked like he was going for a no-hander, but able to recorrect. Truck driver on the spine, down the whale tail with the 3-whip. It's slightly over-rotated. He's gonna fight for speed here. And pulls back for a double backflip. Tobey Miley able to fight his way down the course, keep things going. You see that sigh of relief. He had troubles in Christchurch, as well as his first run here in Rotorua, but now his season is on track.
Somehow mustering the speed for the double flip on that final jump. That was pure determination.
Judges are gonna have their work cut out for them.
Oh my God.
Can't wait to check out the replay on this one, Stella. So many good
Hear him commenting on the wind right there. He was fighting 360 bar to bar, straight into the double downside tail whip on that hip. Coming up, this is where we saw him have some issues. First run backflip, bar spin, 2 tail whip. Coming in, speed was there. Getting that flip bar, 2 bar, spotting the landing, tucking the bike straight in. And this off of the cannon, backflip tail. Tell me why that's harder off the cannon than a regular jump, Cam.
Well, for one, there's no transition in the lip. You have to pull in a similar fashion to if you were doing a flip variation off of a flat drop. You really have to get behind the rear wheel and shoot the bike out with your legs. Just an added degree of difficulty to an already challenging move like a backflip tail whip.
And they're fighting for speed, but never willing to leave anything on the course. Yanking back for that double backflip, front and rear tire landing at the exact same time. That is perfect.
So Tobey Miley, after run number 1, sitting in last place with a 24.5, obviously improving here in run number 2. The big question is by how much? What position will it move him into, and will it be within 10 points of that top 3? Will he secure himself a spot into the shootout round? Yeah, Rev Roth, that was a redemption run from Tobey Miley. Tobey Miley fans, let's hear it.
That current mark to break in is 75. That's what it's going to take to get into the shootout and be within 10 points of Dane Folpp.
Assuming things don't change, exactly. There's going to be so many riders with issues in run number 1 who are looking to improve here in run 2.
Hi there, Johanna. Hi there. Holy shit. Hi there.
I'm pretty psyched. My new favorite rider took the gold out here today. Let's see what happens for the men. My new favorite rider was Dane Folpp. He's sitting in podium contention here in 3rd.
It's almost like you know about these competitions, Cam.
A little. I try.
Not as purple this year. No. Last couple of years a little bit too.
It's so funny. We were watching it again the other day. And last year, we were like, oh.
So the score's meaning more this year than ever, considering we have the shootout round. Riders within 10 points of the top 3, getting the opportunity to pick a feature on the course and do one extra trick. An opportunity to add up to 5 points to their highest run score. Next rider to drop in run number 2 is Griffin Paulson. We saw him go down on that 360 double tail whip on the 3rd feature on the course. He had a huge crash in practice. We were surprised to even see him on the start list today. We shouldn't have been, knowing how much of a warrior he is. And even more so, a warrior, the fact that he's up there ready to go for run number 2. The score in for Tobey Miley, a 75.75, moving him into 7th place. And within 10 points of the top 3, so unless things change, he might have an opportunity to participate in our shootout. 3rd place right now is Dane Folpp, 85. 2nd place, Nicholi Rogatkin, a 90. David Godziek, the score to beat, a 92. Now Griffin Paulson has an opportunity to improve after a throwaway run 1. Griffin Paulson coming off of an 8th the last event in Christchurch.
Does seem like the wind is getting consistently better. Griffin Paulson on course. Front flip bar spin off that rider's left step down. Right into this 2nd feature, massive double backflip, landing up high on the transition. Front flip.
Oh, here's where he tried that 3 double whip in run number 1.
Oh, just gets a little bit carved off of that lip, didn't get what he wanted.
Visually frustrated, Griffin Paulson unable to finish run 2 here, throwing away the score, the crowd getting behind him. What a shame for Griffin.
Walking out of here somewhat healthy, able to keep his eyes set on the Super League series overall.
It'll be about 45 minutes until he sees it that way, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Right now, it's all about frustration. You sit up there at the top of the course, you visualize your run so many times, and then throw it away on the 4th feature of the course.
You think he's got a statement to make on this final set right here?
I know he loves to ride for the fans, so I feel like we got a show on our hands.
I think we're gonna see something on this last set. I don't want to call him out.
Griffin Paulson doing it for the Rotorua crowd here. McGazza money booter. Double backflip, no-hander, absolutely perfection.
That's exactly what I was expecting out of Griffin Paulson right there. Never one to shy away from an opportunity to show what he's capable of. Not what he wanted here in Rotorua. Such a long week, such a big build-up. Letting it all out right there. A DNI in run 2 did not improve.
Oh, he was trying to play it smart by not doing that 360 double tail up. Tried to lay it up a bit, and unfortunately lost all of his speed. Wonder if he's kicking himself right now. Should have just gone for the 3 double whip again.
Christchurch winner Erik Fedko.
Can you believe he's up there again?
He is looking ready to go. The man is a pitbull.
Man, he fell out of the sky in run number 1, missing the seat wall 360 and trying to get one of his trademark 360 Superman sea crab Indian airs. First few features were spotless though, so we got a taste of what could be here in run number 2.
This is where strategy's gonna play. Is he shooting for the overall, or is he shooting to get into that?
You saw him warming up his right wrist. It looked like it really took a hit on that crash from run number 1.
Big double backflip right there. Oh, didn't get the Superman sea crab Indian air off of that 3 down whip. Just a 360 right there. Seems like things not feeling super good for Fedko right now. Double truck off of the cannon, little nose bonk to Steez. Big 360 invert, casing a little bit there, still able to flip bar spin out. Interesting to see what this does. Nice little whip right there. I do not think this is gonna get him within those 10 points for the shootout. I could be wrong though.
I'm just impressed that he kept going on that run. He missed his trick on the very first feature.
My wrist is broken, bro.
Yeah. You can see him checking it out before dropping in.
Yeah, that was his first opportunity to get back on the bike and see what the damage was from that first run. That's not what we want to hear, him thinking his wrist is broken.
Imagine how hard it is to do a 360 bar spin to tail up on that step down feature with a body that feels 100%, not to mention one that, you know, might be broken right now. We saw him warming up his right wrist before dropping in, and everything needs to be just clicking like a well-oiled machine to do a run that he had planned.
Yeah, the current leader of the Super League overall and our winner in Christchurch, really looking to keep that momentum going throughout the season, but unfortunately Not gonna happen here in Rotorua for Fedko, but it ain't over yet. We got 3 more events this year. Plenty of time.
Fedko trying to ignore the pain screaming from his right wrist. Now has an opportunity to actually assess the damage and see what he's got to do about it. It's so impressive to see him riding his bike though, knowing how hard he hit the ground.
Yeah, just the mental state you got to be in to get halfway down a run and be like, okay, I think my wrist is broken. I'm gonna do a backflip bar spin down this whale tail.
So crazy. So does improve. Obviously, he only made it a few features into run number 1, but not enough to be within 10 points of the top 3. Fedko's day is done as we take a look back up to the top and we see Jaden Chipman warming up. Jaden Chipman sitting on a 46 from run number 1. Plenty of room to improve.
360 downside, 450 downside.
No pedals taken, impressive.
Triple tail whip. The wind is definitely getting better. Cash roll right there, staying super low. Can he keep the momentum and get over this? And he does with a triple truck driver. Stiesman on the hip right there. Backflip the spine. Starting to see some shadows right there. It could play a role. Truck driver on the whale tail.
He needs to cap it off here. Oh!
Coming out of the backflip bar spin. Was he reaching for the can-can? Did he get the foot over?
I think he was reaching for that tail whip at the end.
How about some aerial awareness there, folks?
Remembering what he did in run number 1, we know how he wanted to cap off this run. He will get scored for the backflip bar spin, even though he was probably looking for a late tail whip. You gotta imagine that's going to improve his run 1 score. The big question is, will it be enough to move him up the ranks or move him within 10 points of the top 3?
That mark right now is 75. McChrister, I think Jaden Chipman did just give it his all. Look how low that cash roll is, just squeaking across that landing, able to keep his momentum and make it across this cannon with a bar spin 3 times around while doing a 360. Quadruple combo out of the cannon is not a small feat. Truck driver on this step down. You see the shadows creeping in a little bit there on the spine, coming out of the trees and into this lower section. Quite blinding for them. Yeah, he was going for something more for sure.
Looked like he was just a little bit late to get secured to the handlebars there after the bar spin. Not able to squeeze out the next chapter of that variation. Let's see what run 2 score for Jaden Chipman will be. Will it move him into that magic bubble, which is that 75 range right now, 75 and above, to buy a ticket into the shootout round.
For now.
He's able to hold on to that position exactly. Peter KM saying that they love this. The thrill, excitement, and tricks is amazing. Right on. Thanks for joining us here on the Crankworx YouTube channel. Subscribe. Give us a like. A 70.5. So not within that magic 75 bubble.
Yeah,
but a strong showing for Jaden Chipman nonetheless. Ooh, Lukas Skiöld. Lukas Skiöld was the second rider to drop in run number 1, so we haven't seen him for a while. Not able to put a clean run down, but we know if he can execute his plan, he's a rider to shake things up. You mentioned what he's capable in terms of upside down combos earlier.
Yeah, it's almost like a video game, AB, up, down, blah, blah, blah. So many tricks, so consistent, so smooth. And the cleanest bar spins out there. Getting it started off nicely. Truck driver, oppo downside tail whip, landing low on that hip, so Can he keep the momentum going into this big booter? Backflip tail up to bar spin. He does. Keeping it going off of this new jump right there. Just getting the 361 footer. Tuck no-handed 3 off the cannon. Nose bonk to bar. Triple combo off of that little lily pad right there. 360 down off the whale tail. Now he's gonna have to really throw something down. Backflip bar to tail whip. Oh, spotless.
Lukas Skiöld. I got to imagine this is going to improve on his run 1 score, which is a 64. Will it be enough to give him a 75? 75 is that magic window right now, currently, to secure yourself a spot into the shootout round. All right, look back at this run, Alan.
360 bar spin off the flat drop to opposite downside tail whip. He landed low, but he did a nice recovery right there.
The double tail up there, and then the backflip tail up to bar spin. Ooh, almost fumbling the hand on the right grip there.
Yeah, just pushing through right there. Keeping it smart. Tuck no-handed 360. Off the cannon, nose press, bar to bar. And now on this last jump, just to know what he's capable of, imagine him doing another bar to bar after the tail whip on this last set. We know he's got more, but making it happen out here today in Rotorua.
Man, yeah, you know what, pays off to be able to do a backflip bar spin to tail up to double bar spin, because when you are only trying to do a backflip bar spin to tail up to cap off a Crankworx slopestyle run, you make it look easy, because in comparison to what he's capable of, it is. He caught pedals so early there. Judges doing their thing. What will the score be? He's looking to improve on a 64. Magic number right now is anywhere better than a 75.
I'm happy. I'm tight. I'm proud. I had 2 runs. Last year I only had 1. Shit.
Commenting on his improvement over last year. He's happy. You know he'll be happier if he gets that score, 75, and pushes himself towards that shootout.
Green Gonzo NZ commenting on the Crankworx YouTube channel, saying I'm clapping, leaping, yelling at the screen, wishing I was there. Love that. But also, we've got Common Senselessness saying, yep, he pinched his seat after the whip. Maybe thinking he was going for an extra bar spin there after the flip bar to whip. Let's listen in, Nicholi.
Good work anyway, bro. Thank you. Same. How's your knee? Bad.
Interesting, you hear the riders checking on each other. He's asking Nicholi how his knee's doing. Nicholi feeling a little bit of pain out there, but looking good right now in second place, just 2 points off of our leader, David Godziek.
I hope I don't have to do the fucking shootout thing.
All right, Chance Moore, a rider looking to bump his score up just a little bit more. He had a few issues in that first run. He's totally capable of bumping himself up.
I missed the hand on the flipper bar. So I was like, whoa. And then I was like, oh shit. And then I was like, oh, I'm not doing, like, I don't know what.
Chance Moore will be the next rider to drop into this diamond level slopestyle event on this 2026 Slopestyle Super League season. Chance Moore, the rider who burst onto the scene back in 2024 with a 5th place in Innsbruck in his rookie World Tour appearance, and basically more of the same the last 2 seasons. 3rd place in Cannes marked his first arrival onto the Crankworx Slopestyle World Tour podium. He had a 4th at Christchurch starting the season. The judges taking their time with this Lukas Skiöld score. We're gonna get a look at the replay that they're watching right now.
Yeah, Oppo double downside on that hip. That was where he talked about missing his hand. You called that out.
But there, that's gonna hurt him.
Nose press, bar to bar. Coming off the whale tail, only got a straight 360 off.
Those are really the only 2 issues I think the judges are trying to figure out what to do with in this run. Those 2 straight 360s, knowing that he was ideally wanting to get variations in there, considering what everybody else in the field is doing, just packing every feature with a variation. But it's so important, not only if he has the potential to shake up the top 3, but if he did enough to be able to score within a 75. That's the hot bubble right now for the shootout round. Take it as a sign of respect, Lukas, I think, when the judges take their time with your score.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, there it is. The score for run 2 for Lukas Skiöld is a 72, outside of that magic shootout window of 75 currently. Puts Lukas Skiöld into 9th place.
Getting out of here healthy, completing his run.
All right, Chance Moore, 4th at the first event of the season in Christchurch. He's been having a great time down here in New Zealand ever since. A lot of these riders just soaking it up and utilizing the time in the Southern Hemisphere summer to get ready for the next event. Obviously, all of them visiting their good buddy Ben Thompson, who unfortunately had a crash in Christchurch during practice, ruptured his spleen. He's out here today cheering on his friends. They were supporting him in the hospital. Ben just waiting to be cleared to fly home, and I'm sure all the riders are stoked to have him right now cheering them on. One of Ben Thompson's riding buddies right now, Chance Moore, will be the next rider to take to the course, a rider who has so much potential to move into top 3 contention now. Chance Moore on course, look at that.
Big cork 720 off that step down, massive opposite tail whip, backflip, front flip, bar to bar, landing a little bit loose. Can he keep his momentum going? Gets the flip whip off.
We're gonna watch him closely on that step down feature.
Coming in, no-handed front flip on the cannon, opposite 270, bar to bar. Regular truck driver, and there it is, that opposite tail whip backflip on the step down, little nose press, kind of messes up his rhythm right there. But how did he get that double backflip off?
You have to be so dialed at double flips to miss pump on the roller and still squeeze it out.
So much confidence and aggression into that final jump. That is what I'm talking about.
Oh man, that run could really mess some stuff up.
I think you could almost guarantee him getting into that shootout 75.1 score, but how high will it be?
That was nice, thank you.
Just taking a look back right here. Big cork 720 off of that step down.
This is one of those runs that requires a slow-mo replay to understand the nuance and subtlety. That backflip tail up there on the dirt-to-dirt, complemented by the backflip opposite tail up later. He gets 2 bar spins in that front flip. So much packed into this run.
Really laying back on that 360 tail whip. So much style right there, nosing it in, keeping his momentum going. A slight little hang up, but getting a solid pump with plenty of speed, using those low speed tricks off the cannon. Keep his momentum going, front flipping opposite 270 bar, 2 bar, and this right here is where it gets technical, Cam.
Here we go, backflip, opposite tail up, complementing the backflip regular tail up that took place earlier up in the run. Watch him almost miss pump on this double roller down here. We weren't sure if he's gonna have enough speed for a big trick on the last jump, but he sucks it up, pushes through a double backflip. Chance, moments of brilliance in run number 1, but obviously some things you wanted to polish up in run number 2. You did exactly that. What was the hardest part of that run there for you?
I'm not sure. Maybe the flip switch whip on the step down. It's a new one for me. I did it for the first time earlier this week, so I'm happy to get that one done. I'm just having so much fun out here. Awesome second run, good recovery. Not exactly everything I wanted, but still so happy, so I'm loving it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what the score is, but I want to talk to you about the run into the McGazza money booter. It looked like you almost missed speed on that double roller. Did you think you had to push through on that double flip?
I definitely fully pushed through on the double flip, fit in the pedal. Before I was going like this nose bonk, manny, then pump in for a little bit extra speed, but I missed out on the second run, maybe because I went a little deep on the flip switch whip. Lots of adrenaline going through the runs here, and then good push through, good recovery on the double flip. Try to go as far as I can, keep it low instead of blasting it up, and I think that worked.
It did. I can't wait to see what the score is, and I hope to see you in the shootout round. Chance, way to go.
Same. Let's get it.
Chance Moore basically doing exactly what you would expect a veteran to do, fixing up a run one that left some to be desired. Like a veteran in run number 2, I gotta think we'll see a score within that magic 75 bubble here, but we're gonna let the judges do their thing.
So I am super happy with it for sure. Good
Some more wisdom from Common Senseless. He does ride like a veteran.
On a couple different features there, but it's all good. Thanks, Mikey.
It's crazy when he says, yeah, I didn't really get everything I wanted in that run. I'm not sure what else he was looking for, but we might be able to see that in the shootout. That's the way he played his cards in the first stop. Look at that, an 87 for run 2, putting him into podium contention. 3rd place for Chance Moore.
This is where the shootout gives us an extra level of excitement. We know Chance has some of the biggest tricks ever pulled.
Jack Feick currently sitting in 7th place right now. The rider with all the opposite combos, a rider who very much reminds us of the winningest slopestyle rider in the history of the sport, Emil Johansson.
Chance Moore elevating what it's going to take to make it into the shootout by 2 more points. So now it's 87.1 is the minimum to make it into that shootout. Jack Feick is going to be fighting his way in.
I feel like he has what it takes to do it. I feel like we've only scratched the surface on what this kid is capable of. Huge opportunity here right now, the Crankworx Slopestyle in memory of McGazza for the Canadian Jack Feick.
Wind is looking good. Here we go.
It's on.
Opposite truck driver. Double downside tail whip. Opposite kicking that tail whip. So technical. You see that tail whip going the regular direction twice with a 360. Bar spin to invert.
Improv there.
Triple truck driver off of the cannon. Nose press, suicide 2 bar spin. That's stepping it up. Big knack on that spine flip bar to bar. Here we go. Will it be enough? What's he got?
The double flip to cap things off for Jack Feick.
Nice double backflip in contrast to what Chance Moore did. We heard Chance talk about how he had to push through, but that had a lot more amplitude. One of the factors the judges are looking at here today.
He went straight up on that double flip. Jack Feick was the first rider in run number 1 that we saw put together what I would describe as a spotless top to bottom. But the game has been elevated since that point right there. He's sitting in 7th place on the 78.5 from run number 1. Will he improve here on this score? A little bit of moments of improv in the middle right here, which may hurt him.
There's that double downside, opposite rotating tail whip, straight into a regular rotating tail whip, 2 times around with a 360. There's that bar spin to invert. I mean, if you're gonna have to do a layup trick, that was pretty steezy.
And if you're gonna have to just kind of improv and do something that maybe isn't at the level, you gotta make it look good, exactly.
Yeah, getting right back on course with that 360 bar to bar to bar. Such extension off that nose press, suicide to bar spin, into this knack. Backflip bar to bar. And then watch the height on this double backflip as he re-enters the stratosphere here in Rotorua. Getting good pump right there.
Perfect, and a pedal. I'll go to the moon, do 2 flips. Yeah, the execution score will be high in this run. Stuff like that nose bonk to Sui to bar. He did not phone in the Sui. You see sometimes riders just get the hands off a little bit and then chuck the bar. That was arms straight back, extended. Run 2 did not improve. They liked his run 1 better. I gotta feel like it has something to do with that bar spin to table there. I think it was the 4th feature on the course. That's the problem when you have such a good run number 1. It's that much harder to improve your score in run 2.
Yeah, absolutely, but he's not done right now. He's within that window.
We might see him in the shootout. If you're just joining us, the shootout takes place after all the runs, and it's a chance to do another trick and add to your score. We're looking back at photos over the years from Lukas Huppert's career in slopestyle. He's only 25, but this is his 8th season already, and he rides like it. He's got that veteran poise, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. We saw him make a mistake on that first trick coming in, slipping his foot on one of the most technical tricks we'll see today off of that flat drop, a 360 tail-it, but he was able to use that veteran composure, get his foot back on, straight into more tricks.
Hoopy, Lukas Huppert, sitting in 6th place right now. And even if he does the same run, but cleans up some of those minor little errors, I think we'll see him improve his score. Sitting on an 81 already. We got to imagine we're going to see this flat drop 3-whip again. Let's see if he can glue those feet to the pedals. Come on, Hoopy.
Whipping it around, pulling it really clean, getting back on the pedals. Tail whip around the hip, back flip tail whip on the hip. Was that opposite tail whip, Cam?
Nobody does it like him. Was that 3?
Yeah, front flip, triple bar spin. Double tail whip right there. Off the cannon.
Oh man,
Dial,
this is a huge
roll. Nose press to tail whip.
Take a breath, Hoopy.
Nice truck driver on the spine. Corked out 7 on the step down. Can he bring it all the way home right here on the last set?
Do it, the twister, do it!
And he pulls the twister. The forward rotating corked out 1080.
Oh man! That was so banger. Oh, I haven't felt like that in a slopestyle run for a while. Jeez.
That was so sick, bro. That was amazing.
Hoopy stepping it up in a big, big way. That is what he was looking for. Plenty of podiums for Lukas Huppert. Never taken the top step here at a Crankworx slopestyle, but obviously has what it takes.
That was maximum effort and maximum execution. Favorite part right here, Alan. Kicks the tail up the downside direction. I thought he was throwing it away.
Yeah, that was
out the
such
flip.
a good save
1,
right there.
2, 3.
How do you barely pull something straight into a front flip triple bar spin? Motivated. So stoked to get that run done.
Look at this run, Hoopy. Watch yourself. What in the world was that?
Regular direction right there.
I'm out of breath, but I promised my friend Chris back at home, no matter what, I'll do a front triple bar, and they got me fired up. And yeah, I'm out of breath.
Okay.
Can't say much more.
Second feature, I thought you were throwing it away. Walk me through that one.
Oh, I don't even know. It's my flip opposite down whip hip thing, which is kind of my trick. So I should maybe practice it more. But the link from the 3-whip to the flip up and down is so hard. Like my pedal's got to be perfect, and
after you did everything up top and the Cork 7 out of the step down was perfect, I was thinking he has to go for the twister now.
Yeah, but I barely made it around to this one too. Like, wow, it was a rowdy one, but I'm stoked.
Was that everything you wanted?
If it would have been clean and flawless, that would have been it. But
I don't think you're done. I don't think you're done.
Yeah.
You'll be back.
Yeah, true. Third run. Forgot about that.
We got the shootout.
Sort of forgot about it.
Still
but
to
I'm
come.
stoked. Super fired up.
Hey, thank you for the show. I haven't felt that way in the middle of a slopestyle run for a long time. You kept me on the edge of my seat, and I feel like you maxed out everything you're capable of. Congratulations. You get to rest, but not for long, because I have a feeling you probably just secured yourself a spot in the shootout.
Yeah, I'm curious. I don't know the score, seriously.
Well, we're about
the other runs were crazy.
We're going to find out here pretty soon. Thank you. Good job. Give me one of these. Hey, let's hear it for him, Rotorua. Lukas Huppert. My goodness.
I could feel the energy from that run come through that fist bump right there. That was aggressive.
Okay, the score coming in for Lukas Huppert, a 90.87 into second place. And with this shootout format, sitting in second place now, he could still win this competition.
Oh, no.
He's got those bangers.
Nice, wow.
That is exactly where you want to place yourself in a format like this.
So now, elevating 10 points, you now need to be within 10 points of a 90.
Oh, jeez.
A couple of riders that may have worked their way in are now not in to the shootout. Things changing up every run these riders come down. I love this new format.
Imagine following that. Here we go. Paul Couderc's chance at a run 2 right here. He's currently sitting in 6th place. A rider whose best Crankworx World Tour slopestyle result is a 2nd from Red Bull Joyride in 2023. Started the season with a 9th. Taking a look at those flags right now. Paul Couderc, a rider who's well-versed in the natural terrain, free ride deserts, knows how to time the wind out, knows how much of a benefit it can be to pick that most ideal window.
Cameron Thompson throwing that last run out of Huppert into the category of maybe the best run ever here in Rotorua.
I feel the same way, Cameron. Maybe it's just a Cameron thing. I dig. Let's see if Paul Couderc can ride that wave of energy.
He's currently within the zone to make himself.
Look at that. That's what they're doing. They're holding a live FaceTime, showing the flag at the bottom of the course. I've kind of been wondering how they were getting that weather read from the top, from the bottom to the top.
We saw Paul Couderc get from the top to bottom, but definitely left a few things up on the hill. See if
Come on, Paul.
Get them all done right here. Dropping in. See what he's got on the flat drop. Front flip in on the flat drop.
Oh, come on.
450 double tail whip. Gets a little squirrely. Able to recover. Gets good backside.
I think he still has good speed.
There's that corked out 720. Regular direction right there. Corked out 7. Opposite direction. Coming in nosedive. He's going to have all the momentum he needs. Flip, 1-foot table, backflip bar spin on this hip.
He's already improved on run 1 here.
Toboggan 360 on the spine. Backflip tail whip on the step down. Looking pretty good right now with the speed. What's he gonna have?
Get it, Paul!
Double backflip, stomps it.
Not only did he add in that opposite cork 7, he was cleaner on the double flip on the McGazza money booter.
These riders one-upping each other every run as we go. Seems like the wind has subsided and the confidence is high.
Paul Couderc sitting on 82 from run number 1, sitting in 6th place, already within that 10-point bubble from the top 3. You know he's gonna get a higher score here from run number 2. Look how clean this fronty drop was. I thought he was almost not gonna squeeze around this 360 double whip over the hip, having to overspin more like a 450.
You see him pulling back on the handlebars, trying to get every bit of pump he could going into that set and making it happen, and then spinning the opposite direction, even more corked out. Look at his head, almost a full 360 ahead of his body as he comes around right there.
There's just so much aggression. He said when he was heading up for run number 1, he said, you know what? I love sprinting into features. It makes me feel like the old days of Anthony Mazzari, getting as much speed as you can into the lip and just blasting to the moon.
That's that aggression that we talk about and love out of Paul Couderc. Fail mat, seeing what we're not, landed almost flat on the whale tail.
So deep.
Skadoosh, there it is right there.
Watch how quickly he gets on the pedals and starts sprinting. Boom. Squeezing all the speed out of those 2 rollers, sprinting into that final jump, and then getting to chill this time on the double flip because he had enough speed.
Yeah, double flip takes even more speed than you might normally need off of a jump because you're loading into the lip so much to get that rotation going. But Paul Couderc getting back on the horsepower and making it happen.
He will improve the 82. The big question is how much. He's sitting in 6th with that 82. That 3rd place score right now from Nicholi Rogatkin is a 90, so Paul is within that 10-point bubble to earn himself a spot into the shootout currently. Here we go. Run 2 score coming in, an 86.12. He moves up 1 spot in the ranking and gives himself a little bit of padding in case that top 3 3rd place score increases from one of the riders yet to drop.
That means you gotta hit the shootout, bro. Right, I want to cap the first drop, but I don't like it.
Oh man, Dane Folpp was sitting in podium contention for quite a while today, knocked down into 5th place currently with an 85.
Dane deep in the zone right now, visualizing his run, running through the motion. That's how you do this right here. You just visualize and turn your brain off.
I feel like his first run was a dream run, but he's so new to the World Tour. We don't even know what's going on inside that head right now, what other plans he has to add to run 2. But looking at the determination on his face, he's got something. Dane Folpp dropping in.
360 bar to bar off the flat drop. 450 tail up to bar spin. It's an over-rotated 360 because of the hip.
Chilling on speed.
Bar spin, backflip, 2 tail whip, looking really, really clean so far. Front flip, no-hander.
I think it was a front flip Sui.
Front flip, suicide no-hander. How do the bars not turn without a front break? Nose press to bar spin. 360 X-up lands a little high on that. Gets the flip bar to bar out. What's it gonna be?
This kid is
final jump. Double backflip, looks like he got a little light on his foot. Maybe wanted that double backflip can that we saw out of him just a few weeks ago in Christchurch.
Isn't that crazy to see a rider drop a run like that, finish it with a double flip, and then come out of the finish crawl berm going, oh man.
We were talking about it a couple days ago, Cam. I remember, maybe I have PTSD, but I remember when a double backflip was like playing Russian roulette. When you knew the rider was gonna do a double backflip, everybody held their breath.
Not anymore. Wow, Dane Folpp sitting on an 85 from run number 1.
Couldn't go a teeny bit faster than it is.
He wanted a little more speed. Okay, magic to review here. The double truck driver, we like to call that a trouble duck, or at least I do. Into the 3 whip to bar. Look at this, how he's chilling, not pedaling into this thing. Still has enough speed for that backflip, bar spin to tail whip. Did he catch with his back foot right there? Was that an opposite tail whip?
I believe you are correct, Cam.
Look at the front, he's Sui. Okay, unique trick selections back to back. The front, he's Sui on that jump straight into, let's see if we see it. It's going to be this backflip Superman on the cannon. A tough angle for it right there. Just trust me from the side. A backflip Superman over a cannon. You're not seeing anybody else do that right now. I think that's important this day and age, to be creative out there.
Yeah, definitely differentiating yourself from the competition will help maximize the scores. Flip bar to bar, hand straight on the grips, finger on the brake lever. Couldn't have done it any cleaner.
Smart though, if he didn't feel like he had enough speed to squeeze out the one-footed can in the double flip there, he's smart to not try. He will still get judged on that being a double flip. He's not gonna get docked for not doing a double flip can. It'll be interesting though how the judges weigh out the things that he added to this run that weren't there in run number 1 and the things that he missed. All right, there it is. They've made their decision.
Did not improve, but Dane Folpp will get to see an opportunity of what maybe he had planned on that final set here coming up in the shootout. Nicholi Rogatkin is nursing a sore knee right now. I believe he's gonna take the opportunity to skip out on his second run and just save something big for the shootout. So we've got our leader right now with a 92 back up at the top, David Godziek.
Really curious to see if Godziek tries to clean up this run and increase his overall score, or if he just takes it as a practice run for the shootout. Looking at his body language, I think he has more in the tank to try to just improve that 92 flat that he's sitting on right now. And we know enough about David Godziek to know what he might be thinking. A look back at this video project here he did with Red Bull.
Yeah, such a fun game of science right here. The train is doing the movement and he's actually flying backwards on the jumps. I did a stunt similar to this a lot of years ago with a moving van. I cannot explain how difficult and technical this is. It's just a mind trip the entire way down.
Just laying out the spacing of the features on the build.
Imagine that, finishing your biggest line maybe of your career, and when it's over, you're not actually moving.
Exactly. I think something tells me the run he's planning right now would warrant that type of reaction in the finish corral here if he's able to land it. Number 1 ranked rider in the world, number 1 ranked rider here in this competition after run 1 today, sitting on a 92. The flags are pointed straight down to the ground. That's what we like to see. We know what he has that can be improved here in this run. It's crazy how much harder it is to add just 1 point to a top-to-bottom run compared to adding it in the shootout. But if you do both, guess what? Compounding benefits here for Godziek. That's the plan.
Yeah, look at those eyes. I do not think he is just going to lay up. This is going to be something special.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the giggle. He's already pulled it. The visualization.
Yeah, he's like, oh, wow, wait till they see this. Oh, this is awesome. I'm going to take a breath. Here we go, David Godziek on course.
On rider's right. Backflip bar spin actually pops up off of that flat drop. How does he do that? Triple tail whip. Looking really, really clean right now, similar to that first run so far. There's that no-handed twister. Looking perfect. Confidence building on the way down. Front flip bar spin to tuck no-hander. Off the cannon with a suicide double truck.
This is poetry.
He did grab the seat there. Seat grab to tail whip on that hip. Tuck no-hander. Cash roll right there, a little bit low on speed. What is he gonna do right now? Cash roll, tail whip to the top right there. So one up on that final set. The cleanliness that he had from top to bottom right there on everything that he did. Absolutely amazing riding out of David Godziek today.
Running the show. Setting the bar, and then resetting the bar
mental.
with the shootout still to come.
So much stoke down in the finish corral right there, being congratulated by his partner.
It's so calm. To watch him ride is so calm.
The Triple C, baby, calm, cool, and collected.
It's such a crazy experience watching him drop a run like that.
His head is still above the flat drop when he gets the bar spin done as he pops up out of that. So much strength in his riding right here. The twister no-hander, forward off axis, 1080 with the hands off.
Every move that his body makes is just so efficient. There's no wasted energy. Look how high he was, like you said, popping into that flat drop backflip bar spin. We saw him honing in that triple whip in practice, slipping pedals in practice, but guess what? Second run straight to pedals. So much goes into having the capability of doing a run like this.
So there's 5 points available in the shootout. If he can get 1 point even higher, he's gonna pad his lead, and that is gonna add up to even more points after the shootout if he can actually pull that run. He can't lose points in the shootout, but he's got 5 points optional. And thinking about what the judges are looking at, height, execution, extension. I cannot pinpoint one piece that was missing from that run out of David Godziek.
They're all there. Look at him catch the pedals early, rack into that table.
That's mixing video game tricks with style right there. Unbelievable. He likes chicken.
All right, what will the score be for run number 2 from David Godziek? Will he improve the 92? It's climbing, 93.62. David Godziek raises the bar.
So adds a .62 to that lead.
1.62.
We know that those riders that have qualified their way into the shootout have some insane tricks in their repertoire. This is where I'm hoping to see those tricks that we see online, those one-off tricks into airbags. We get to see them executed on real jumps right here.
A look at the standings. We just saw David Godziek add 1.62 in his second run to his existing run 1 score. Lukas Huppert into second place right now. Nicholi Rogatkin, the rider who took third place at stop number 1 this season, sitting in third place again right now. And now look at that third place score, 90. Anybody within 10 points of that will be in the shootout round, meaning the cutoff will be at Dane Folpp with that 85. Jack Feick with a 78.5 is outside that 10-point bubble. So we will see Dane Folpp, Paul Couderc, Chance Moore, Nicholi, Hoopy, and Godziek make their way to the top of the course for the shootout round, which will be coming up after the break. Do not go away. Crankworx Rotorua is brought to you by Skyline Rotorua. Ride the gondola, hit the trails, and experience one of New Zealand's most iconic adventure destinations.
At the top of the run, take a couple breaths, try to clear my mind, let go of the brakes and go for it.
The design actually represents, it's called a manaya, which is a half profile figure. I hope they got more feeling of pride when they got the medal, as I did creating it.
There it is. Yes.
Shut the front door.
Crankworx Slopestyle in memory of McGazza. 2 runs sealed in the history books. But it ain't over yet. We got the shootout round, Alan.
I mean, I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling drained, but we're only getting going here right now. We're going to see the top 6 current riders absolutely send it. And, you know, rolling into this, I saw Paul Couderc cruise by with no chain on his bike.
Yeah.
Anybody that's familiar with the My War series knows that this man has some amazing magic. And really what I see happening right now is it's bringing in other personalities, other pieces of these riders' personalities. Paul Couderc, known for what he's done in that My War series, he's actually going to now be able to bring it here in the competition.
Oh, it's exciting for a rider like Paul Couderc, who's been on this Crankworx World Tour slopestyle for so many years, to have something new to spice it up. You know, he's a rider who loves to show more than what a slopestyle course sometimes leaves opportunity for. So we know he's excited about this shootout round. If you're just joining us, I want to explain what the shootout round is. The top 3 plus any rider within 10 points of the top 3, which in this case is the top 6 riders. They just made their way up to the top of the course. They get to pick one feature on this Crankworx Rotorua in memory of McGazza slopestyle course, choose a feature and do a trick on that feature. Their trick score, judged on a scale of 1 through 5, will be added back into their best run score based on those first 2 runs that we just saw. We basically ran a test of this format at the first stop in Christchurch a couple weeks ago, and we loved the results. It was exciting. We saw it shake out in a different way for the women's field, where Johanna Nussbaumer just sealed the win before the shootout round even took place. But we want to check in with the judges right now, because this is obviously an extra variable for them as well. Peter Henke, head judge, joining us right now. Peter, what is harder, judging a top to bottom run out of a scale of 1 through 10, or judging one trick on this course out of a scale of 1 through 5?
It's way harder to judge the shootout than a normal, like a normal slopestyle run, because in the slopestyle run the riders all ride the same features in a row, and for the shootout they can choose their feature, and sometimes it's really hard to put the different features and different tricks in perspective to each other.
Peter, would you say choosing one of the more straightforward trickable features like the McGazza Money Booter could potentially be judged differently than one of the step downs, the flat drops, or the cannon logs?
Definitely, trick placing in the shootout is a really big part. For example, a cash roll on a step down is way harder than on a trick jump. So yeah, it all comes down to the chosen feature and to the trick.
Thanks for explaining it all to us. I can't wait to see what goes down, Peter. Good luck to you guys in the judging booth as well. Also, Katie Winton is up at the top of the course. You did it in Christchurch. You were up there asking them what feature they chose for their shootout round. We'll be checking in with her. We're allowing the riders a couple minutes to get to the top of the course right now, and you got to imagine they're rolling through their strategies. And you touched on it earlier. You saw the setup on Paul Couderc's bike that kind of gave us a little bit of insight into what he might be planning.
Yeah, no chain on his bike. That opens up the game for half cabs, which is where you go off of a flat drop backwards. So hopping in 180, half cabbing, we've seen half cab flare, we've seen half cab tail, we've seen a lot of gnarly tricks, but he doesn't have to get top to bottom. He can focus on one obstacle, leave it all there, and see if he can get those 5 points.
That right there is an example of something that you probably wouldn't see in the context of a top to bottom slopestyle run, because who wants to take their chain off, especially on a day like today where struggling for speed is very much a big part of the story.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's just the level that this new shootout format is bringing. We're getting to see all of what these riders can bring to a competition.
All right, Katie, what's going on up there? I think the first rider we'll see in the shootout is Dane Folpp. Is that right?
Yeah, Dane is lined up right here. It's been an absolute dream for him this week. He's been watching the live feed all his life, and now he's here. Incredible first 2 runs. What have you got planned? What's the feature you're going to be dropping on?
I think it was in between the flip bar switch whip and the dub flip can, but I think I'm going to do the dub flip can. I just think it'd be good to get a rotational combo. I'll head halfway down the course, stop at the hitch and post, and then wait for the wind because it's been a bit of a struggle, and then hopefully get that.
On which feature?
On the last jump, dub flip can last, yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
That's a man with a plan right there. That's a World Tour rookie with a veteran approach. And you got to think he's wanting some redemption on that final feature, knowing that he didn't get that double flip can in run number 2 as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going back to the end of his run where he was saying to himself, oh, if I could have just gone a little faster. It's so sick that the shootout is giving him the opportunity, and the opportunity for us to see it.
Smart as well, the fact that he's calling out he's going to stop at the halfway point over by the hitching post. Make sure the conditions are good before he drops into the final few features leading to that McGazza money booter, where he's hoping to get that double flip one-footed can-can. Just a note to everybody watching right now as well, he will be judged on whatever trick he does. It will not be held against him. If he does another straight double flip and doesn't get the variation, he will be judged on a score of 0 to 5. And let's see if he can add to his top run score now. Dane Folpp making his way down to the McGazza money booter.
Just loosening it up right here. Definitely not going to lay up and do nothing, but focusing all of his energy on that bottom jump. Such an opportunity right here. It always blows me away that these riders, when they re-rack, sometimes you're waiting over an hour before you touch the course. Back in my day, we were riding the entire contest. We were able to stay warm between runs. It blows me away what you riders are able to do now, fully cold turkey.
Well, this is good. Dane Folpp is in position right now to drop in to the final 3 features with his sights set on the McGazza money booter. He has called his shot. He's hoping for a double backflip, one-footed can-can. You see him going through the motions right now, visualizing. You got this, Dane.
I don't have a chair, but I'm on the edge of my seat somehow. So exciting, this format.
Dane Folpp currently sitting in 6th position. Yeah, getting the crowd going. Hoping to ride the wave of the always powerful energy from the crowd out here in the Rotorua. Here we go, Dane Folpp dropping in.
Here we go, the windsock is in the position that Dane wants right now. He wanted a little more speed. He's got the opportunity for it. What's he gonna do?
Go! Double flip, gets the can-can. Whoa, that was perfect.
So much height and amplitude. That first rotation was absolutely slow.
Nice.
If I've ever seen a flip to flip, he paused out as he put his foot back on the pedal and just tucked it in, and with authority, smashed those tires down on the landing.
Not only did he boost to the moon, but look at the extension. That right leg crossing all the way over the top tube, snapping into place, boom! Gets that foot back on the pedal, puts the body weight to the rear end of the bicycle, and finishes that second backflip rotation. Could not have done that any better.
Yeah, he didn't sneak that foot over the crossbar. It looked like he was doing like a vert can-can where you can fully lay out all the way off the side of the bike. That was unbelievable.
It's so great to see a rider be able to come into that McGazza money booter fresh, not fatigued from 8 previous features tricked. Yeah, Dane, all right. Now it's on the judges to assign a value to that on a scale of 0 to 5. And just to give perspective, a 5 max points would kind of be a never been done type of trick. They have to leave room for stuff that's truly groundbreaking.
I think he can definitely count on increasing his score, but by how much?
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
All right, what will he add to his run one score of 85? Shootout scores a 3.37. He moves up 2 positions into 4th, just out of podium contention. But for the year 1 World Tour rookie, he's got to be stoked with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that right there. Top 5, big event, getting out of here with his health. Something to build on. Oh, we talked about this. Paul Couderc does not have a chain on his bike. He's planning a half cab of some sort. He is not going to be too worried about wind up at the top.
Katie, what's he got for us?
Well, we've just been watching some very interesting run-ins. We've got a bit of a plan here. Paul, what feature are we going for?
I'm going on the first flat drop. I'm going to try to half cap this drop. Haven't done it in 4 years. But my mate Louis Rebull is here to push me, so I removed the chain. And let's hope for the best. Yeah.
You've got a wee stick in position. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Say again?
You've got a stick in position on the drop. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's just to have like an idea to when to do my first 180. Yeah, it's 7 feet from, not feet, English feet, but my feet. Yeah, so yeah, let's get this.
Let's get this. Yeah, Paul, he says he's got his main man right there, Louis Rebull, pushing him, saying, Paul, I know you got this. Yeah, sure, you maybe haven't done it in 4 years, but you got this, and here's the perfect opportunity to bring a half cap off the start drop here at this Rotorua slopestyle course.
7 French feet is the mark.
7 of my feet. Ooh, not only is Louis Rebull there for moral support, he's actually going to push him, giving him the speed. Because he doesn't have a chain, he's not able to pedal, but without having a chain means he'll be able to ride backwards without having to pedal backwards, making this half cab trick
So Paul can
possible.
only
on,
slow
Paul.
down from this point. What's he got? Looking really good right there, and he does it.
Oh, no way.
Pulls it absolutely smooth. Look at the excitement. He is stoked right there.
To not have any practice on that move for 4 years and then to stomp it first try. I can't wait to see what the judges do with that half cab. Shout out to Steve Caballero, who we know is a mountain biker now. Hopefully he's watching, seeing his namesake trick being relevant here in mountain bike slopestyle in 2026.
What's he got right here? This one's for you, fans.
Yeah.
He is stoked right now. So awesome to see that. The boys putting their heads together and coming up with a plan.
Oh my God!
So much adrenaline pumping through Paul Couderc's veins right now. 4 years of not doing a trick and having to pull it out here on the biggest stage.
Oh,
I cannot pick that apart in any way, shape, or form.
Look at Louis pushing him in. Look at that. I don't know how you know how hard to push him. That was teamwork right there.
Absolutely. From that point on.
This is crazy. That was so cool.
Usually we would deduct points for illegal fist pumps while still on the course, but it was over at that point.
Can you imagine what those practice runs must have looked like? You heard Katie at the top saying, well, we just had some really interesting speed checks up here for Paul Couderc. So what will the score be? Scored from 0 to 5. What will add to his 86.12? Paul Couderc thinking outside the box, as we know Paul Couderc to do.
I love the creativity.
One of the young riders try 2 times to half cab the start drop in Christchurch, unsuccessfully. Exactly. Bro did the whole course without a chain. And we've seen everybody struggling for speed today, so that in itself is an accomplishment. That will not play into his shootout score, but also just shows how good of a bike rider Paul Couderc is. What's it gonna be, Paul? All right, he scores a 3.65, making his overall total an 89.77, moving Paul Couderc into 4th place. Yeah, Paul.
Paul Couderc happy with that score.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Reading his lips right there, he said that was so scary. Committing, laying it on the line.
Katie, Chance Moore is next rider to drop in our shootout. What feature does he have his eyes set on?
Well, the vibe is getting hyped up here after that from Paul. What feature are you going to be going for on this one, Chance?
I'm going to go for the last jump, going to take a little breather on the hitching post, and then go for it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
McGazza money booter it is for Chance Moore, currently sitting in 6th place.
We know Chance has one of the deepest bag of tricks. We saw him get very, very close to a world's first in slopestyle competition on that berry jump last year.
I'm catching what you're throwing right now.
Yeah, there's 5 points up for grabs, and I'm pretty sure that Chance Moore wants all of them.
Oh, that would be so rad to see. Anybody who watched last year, you might know what we're thinking about. Chance Moore has chosen the final jump on the course, the finish line booter, affectionately known as the McGazza money booter, in honor of our good friend Kelly McGarry, the man who built and designed this course, rode the first-year event in 2015. We're always doing this in his memory. Chance Moore now looking to add some points to his run-2 score, which is an 87, currently ranking him in 6th.
Just sending a quick text out to the boys. Hey, watch this.
Yeah, hey, you guys remember that trick I've been working on? The time is now.
Oh, he's adjusting his music. You know he's got earbuds in there. He is getting absolutely pumped. See Godziek watching on.
So, a max score of 5 is reserved for tricks that have never been done successfully in slopestyle competition. What does Chance Moore have for us here?
Getting some good speed on the spine. Keeping his flow right there, looking good. No pedals, gets that pump where he wants it.
Oh, I think it's on. Come on, get it.
Backflip 360. Right there is the trick that we saw him almost pull. That is a world first in slopestyle competition. I'm getting the head rush right here. That was absolutely insane.
Flip whip to late 360. Cork 7 with the tail, whatever you want to call it. Chance Moore just landed it. Look at Godziek smiling at the top.
He was so straight when he did the flip tail up. I second guessed my premonition, but somehow snapping his head around and getting that late 360. You don't do late 360s. How is that possible?
As soon as he went into flip whip body position, I thought it is on. Yes, Chance. We've been waiting to see him try this trick again for a whole year.
Backflip tail, we see a slight lean, and as soon as he catches the bike, you see his head snap around, and man, that was unbelievable. Even got a little roost off the finish.
No cheating as well. Look how straight he is when he catches the tail up. It looks like he could have just landed it straight, but he squeezes in this last 360, pulling the bars into his lap, penciling in and rotating his shoulders to squeeze out that late 360.
Yeah, similar to gymnastics, he tightens up his rotation by corking his body, making it as straight as possible. Somehow whips not only his body, but the entire bike around for a late 360.
This is what I love about this shootout. Things like a half cap, things like a flip whip to late 3. This is iconic. What will the shootout score be? Oh, it's a 4.7, putting him into 2nd place. Whoa!
Let's go. I'm stoked.
That is what this format
that
is breeding out of here. World's first getting pulled in this shootout. Nicholi Rogatkin, we've seen some of the most crazy stuff out of him in the airbag, but that opens up this point of the competition for all of those airbag chunks.
Oh my goodness. If anybody has the ability to ride the wave of energy, it is this man right here, a man who has been triumphant on this course. Nicholi Rogatkin is up next. Let's throw it up to Katie Winton.
The hype is real, Nicholi. You've just seen Chance go down. What are you going to do? Which feature are we going for here?
Oh, massive up to Chance. That is an unbelievable maneuver. So fired up to finally see him land it perfect. And yeah, that got me so fired up. So I'm going to try to do a move on the boner log.
Go get it.
get it, boys. Let's do this
Nicholi Rogatkin setting his sights on the cannon.
I was about to go again. You're about to make me stop again.
So we've seen riders choose the McGazza money booter. We've seen Paul Couderc choose the top flat drop. Nicholi Rogatkin going for the cannon log, which we talked to the judges about. When riders choose those challenging features, if they throw a banger on that, it will be heavily rewarded.
Yeah, getting creative on what he's doing. He needs a 3.67 to take the lead right now. Here we go.
I got an idea, but I'm not sure.
Triple tail off the cannon, going all the way to the bottom. Again, talking about how hard it is to get rotations going off of the cannon with it being flat. Absolutely muscling that. Oh, here's just a twister for you. No big deal.
Way.
This is for you guys.
How does that cannon?
Oh, he crashes in the turn. Freestyler, not a racer.
How in the world does that cannon feature offer up enough airtime for a triple tail whip?
I think it doesn't, but I think Nicholi Rogatkin offers up enough muscle and courage to make it happen. A 3.62 is what he needs to take the lead right now.
That was like...
Who the fuck is Chansey? Chansey!
He wants to congratulate Chance. Look at this. This was like coming off of a building to flat doing 3 tail whips. Look how low he lands.
Did you see how far behind him his feet were on that last tail whip? Almost Superman, not what he was intending, but the bike getting away from him slightly. But he was able to muscle everything back under him and get his feet back on for re-entry. Watch how low he goes right here.
Goom. He started chucking that tail up before he was even off of the log. His rear tire was scrub sliding up the last bike length of plank. All right, the triple tail up off of the cannon log.
You know when you go front wheel over?
What will it score? Sitting on a 90 from run number 1. What will he add to the 90 from the shootout? He's sitting in 4th place currently.
Under a 4?
Yeah, he's advocating for himself. It's a triple whip, man.
The crowd is hyped right here. The judges taking their time, feeling the gravity of these decisions. And the gravity of Nicholi re-entering off of that cannon.
He would need a 3.62 to take the lead. He dropped the triple whip off the cannon. What will he add to his 90?
Give me a 5. Put me above Godziek.
The magic number right now is 3.62.
Please, judges.
The judges making their decision. Will Nicholi be putting pressure on David Godziek? We're thinking about how smart it was now for Godziek to go for that second run and improve. He's really glad he did so now with how heavy this shootout session has been. There, look at our scores.
Oh, it came in. It came in. I'm going 1.
Yeah, I saw that too, Nicholi. I saw that. We just got a little peek right there. We'll wait for the official. Look at that. It is a 4.1, giving Nicholi Rogatkin the lead. Oh, man. He needed a 3.62. He got a 4.1. Nicholi Rogatkin into the hot seat.
The question is, David Godziek up at the top.
Fucking right.
Calling out a world's first just a few weeks ago in Christchurch. Let's see what he's got, but first up we got Lukas Huppert.
Hoopy cracking a smile. Looks like he's already made his decision. Katie, are you standing by with Hoopy?
2 incredible runs from you, Hoopy. What feature are we going to see for the shootout for you?
Going for the drop.
Yeah, boy. Go get it.
Good call. We know that Lukas Huppert has a trick that nobody else in the field does off of this top drop. We saw him choose that trick in the shootout round in Christchurch. That trick contributed to him being in 2nd place before this shootout round started. He wants to claw his way back into top contention. Lukas Huppert dropping in for shootout round.
And here it is. There's that 3-whip.
Yeah!
Absolutely stomps it to perfection. Wasn't able to pull it in the shootout in Christchurch to perfection. He had a foot stomp and didn't pay off, but that should do it for him. Hopefully he gets a good enough score right there.
Oh, those feet just magnetically locking onto those pedals. We saw him slip pedals on that 3-whip in the shootout round in Christchurch, and you could see how just determined he was to just suck those pedals right up into the soles of his feet.
Yeah, also slipped a pedal in his first run. So really kind of a testament to how difficult that is. Oh, another crash on the berm. Watch out for these slopestylers when they get to the turns. Lukas is going to be really happy with that, able to pull it off perfectly.
That man has, throwing himself at the crowd, showing that love for the sport and for everyone who has turned up here with you on this beautiful Sunday for the Crankworx Slopestyle Diamond Series, the best in the world, and you just saw here from Mr.
Okay, so we await the shootout score for Lukas Huppert. I look back at this flawlessly executed flat drop 360 tail whip. Look at that.
Boom. Much cleaner than his first run where we saw a slip pedal. He did do it pretty perfect in his second run, but that right there was the best one I've seen today.
So Lukas Huppert's best World Tour result up to this point was that third from Innsbruck in 2023. He has positioned himself well here based on his best run score from the first two runs and stomping this 3-whip off the drop. The big question now is, what score will he be rewarded for that clean 3-whip, and will it move him up the rankings? Nicholi Rogatkin right now, the man in charge with the 94.1. Lukas Huppert looking to add to that 90.87. He's currently sitting in fourth.
Mid-Cal rider, you are right. Absolutely insane level of riding. This new format is opening the doors for these slopestyle athletes to showcase all of the stuff that they've been working on. Can see David Godziek up there doing some math.
Okay, the score coming in, it's a 4.01. What is the math? Oh man! Lukas Huppert puts the pressure on David Godziek into the lead with a combined overall score of 94.88. Oh! Lukas Huppert guaranteeing himself at least a second place in today's event, which will be his best result on the World Tour.
Wow, that feels good.
Wow, way to go, Hubie. And the story is not over yet, Alan.
Absolutely not. David Godziek back up at the top. That's where things get technical. Godziek, we know he can do that world's first that he was calling out in Christchurch, but he did do an extended combo in that second run, so it is possible.
Well, Katie, Lukas Huppert just put the pressure on David Godziek. What is the energy like up there at the top of the course?
The stakes are high, but there's not been a better guy to come up to the challenge. So what feature are we going to see you lay down on today?
It's going to be the last feature, last jump.
And you feeling confident?
Of course.
Yeah, boy, go get it.
As soon as he said it's going to be the last feature, I heard everybody standing behind us right here at the bottom of the course start applauding. Get ready for a big show.
Keep in mind what's at stake for Lukas Huppert watching right now. He's never won a Crankworx World Tour event, currently sitting in first place, but David Godziek has the destiny in his hands right now.
What do you think? Twisty no-hander on the last jump. He could do it in his sleep. It's going to score high. What do you think he's going to go for?
I don't know. He's got so many options. It could be something we've never even seen. That cash roll to tail was very clean in his second run. Here we go, he's straight in, the flag is down.
Big drum roll, here we go. The crowd is fired up for this final trick. Here we go, David Godziek. The Cashy whip.
The Cashy whip right there, a huge trick.
But think he doesn't need that big of a score to get up there ahead of Lukas Huppert. David Godziek with strategic brilliance, will it be enough?
Such an interesting game that has been created here. He could have gone for something that we hadn't seen before.
I just pulled my calculator out. He just needs a 1.26 to be able to match that score from Huppert. So anything better than that will secure the win for David Godziek. I feel like he played his cards brilliantly today.
Yeah, he's got his season back on track after that second run crash in Christchurch. He's going to be really stoked, obviously taking advantage of this situation to catch up to Erik Fedko, the current leader, prior to this event of the Super League.
How smart. This is how he finished run number 1 to get a clean score in the bag. He added to that in run number 2, giving himself some padding to not put too much pressure on himself for the shootout.
So much time right there after he catches the pedals. So many options. We know he's got it.
It looked like he could have chucked the bars. Maybe he was thinking about it, but truthfully, he probably doesn't need to. We will wait for the official score before we make any definitive statements. Will it be Lukas Huppert or David Godziek?
This would be Lukas Huppert's very first win on the global tour here at Crankworx. Godziek, no stranger to the top step of the podium. Both riders will be absolutely hyped. What is it going to be?
But actually, huh? For once, I wish you would have crashed.
Why? Hoopy's like, because I want to win. All right, he needs better than a 1.26.
The drama building, the crowd cannot wait to see what's going to be, who's going to be your winner. The longest drum roll of all time right now. Keeping it going with a 4.05.
Oh, here we go. David Godziek secures the win here at the Crankworx Slopestyle in memory of McGazza.
David Godziek able to work his way through the pressure that the shootout offers, riders bumping up above his score. He did not crack under that pressure whatsoever. Triple C, calm, cool, and collected. Here's a look back at his second run replay. We were talking about how he really checks the boxes of all of the aspects the judges look for. Amplitude, that's height. Extension, look at those no hands right there, completely off. And execution, landing absolutely perfect off every obstacle, back tire, front tire, keeping his momentum on a day where you had to be perfect to keep your momentum going. David Godziek, I can't pick a hole in this run or in his competition today at all. Let's just watch him bring it into the finish. Suicide double truck. Getting creative right there, little Superman C grab, throws it with his hand tail whip. Oh man, what a run it was. And bringing it in right here to this bottom feature. We're gonna see a cash roll, tail whip to invert, mixing video game stunts with style right there. Yeah, just boning it out. A little bit of a tag right there, but able to muscle it out. That's where all of his off-season and during season training is paying off. Such an awesome day for David Godziek. And that, the look at his shootout run, could not have been better.
David Godziek, congratulations on taking the win out here today. With this new format, you really had to earn it. I would call it strategic brilliance, the way you handled yourself out here in this competition. How do you approach this new format?
Oh, I really like the new format, but I wish we had 2 tries for the best trick so I can really push myself. I just had to play really safe to just take the first place, so yeah.
I feel like taking your second run was really smart. The first time we had the shootout a couple weeks ago in Christchurch, we saw Erik Fedko not take that second run, try to improve, but it really helped you out, giving you some padding in that second run and not put too much pressure on the shootout. Did you want to get more in the shootout on this final jump right here?
I wanted to land my dream run this week here, and this is what I really work hard here. So I almost did it. I'm happy about it, and I didn't care that much about the last trick.
Well, you're the #1 ranked rider in the world, and you're ruling with an iron fist out here today. Congratulations, you're a gold medalist in the Crankworx Slopestyle in memory of McGazza 2026. Make some noise for David Godziek.
Unofficial at this point, but you got to believe that that will bump David Godziek up into the leaderboard of the Super League overall.
Renaming him to David Godziek. And incredible to see him put in that win. And all the riders absolutely pushing each other to the edge and literally off the edge in the case of Paul Godziek having his friend Louis push him off of that start gate there, and great stuff from everyone. What a way to cap off another Crankworx here in Rotorua. We've got
Man, oh man, it's been a bit since we've seen David Godziek on the top step of the podium, even though he is currently the #1 ranked rider in the world, but he asserted his dominance here today, and he is back on top of more than just the overall ranking. He's your gold medalist in today's competition, which I think was one of the most exciting ones I have seen in a long, long time in slopestyle.
I love it when you see a rider dominate an event like this and do exactly what they want, and they want the format to be different so they can push themselves even more. He wants more, and that is going to carry into the rest of the season.
That was my takeaway from that interview as well. You know, we are in this experimental period in competitive slopestyle, and I think it's good to get back to that because slopestyle was an experiment to begin with, and then we kind of settled into a rut. But right now we are carving a new path, and each event we learn a little bit more and we make some changes. And hearing him say right there that he wishes there was 2 tries for the best trick, it's like we'll get a group of riders together, we'll have feedback after this event, see what everybody wants to do for the next one. But I think one thing is for sure, the audience enjoyed today's show.
Yeah, no doubt right there. Back and forth towards the end, we saw riders bouncing in and out of the podium, but Godziek able to just keep it solid all day long. Not a mistake made. Run 1, run 2, shootout. Absolutely in the zone.
So Johanna Nussbaumer and David Godziek won gold medals out here today, and one of you loyal viewers and commenters have won this piece of Crankworx Rotorua 2026 merchandise. I said that I was going to be watching those comments, and we were. We even threw your comment up on the screen a couple times, so we got to thank you for your participation. Common senselessness, you are the winner of our shirt because everything you added we kind of agreed with, and we like your style. So we're going to reach out to you. We're going to get your address, and we're going to send you this shirt right here to your front door. Thanks for watching. Thanks to everybody for watching out there. I think it's fun to think about what this season still has in store. The fact that we are making experiments and adjustments to the format, and we're really learning every step of the way, and I think we're getting a more entertaining competition each new event.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm kind of seeing sort of the unspoken purpose of this new format. The event format is elevating to match what the riders are doing when they're not at these events, to elevate their game and allow them to showcase the stuff that they're doing here on the global stage.
So I'm thinking back, first of all, I agree with you 100%, but I'm thinking back to results from Christchurch, and I'm thinking, all right, well, David Godziek was right there in second place, so you know he racked up a lot of points. He won today. I wonder what the Slopestyle Super League standings are looking like. Oh, look at that, how convenient. We have it up on the screen. David Godziek to the top of the overall leaderboard. Nicholi Rogatkin there in second. Unfortunately, Fedko, who was leading coming into today, bumped all the way down to 5th. An unfortunate day for him out here today, but our consistent riders are starting to show themselves here after stop number 2 of 5 on this Crankworx World Tour, which is a part of this bigger Slopestyle Super League, which also includes other events outside the Crankworx World Tour.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's worth noting the impressive aspect of Nicholi being in that number 2 spot. I mean, we've seen Nicholi on the top of the podium, so many times. He's late in the stages of his career. He's feeding off the next talent. He's making it happen and coming in second place today at a disadvantage. He had a big crash. His knee was bothering him. He didn't even take his second run. So with adversity, we're going to call him a veteran, which is crazy because I remember when he was 12 coming into BMX. but he's a veteran and he's using that to his advantage, and it's working out with these new formats.
Yeah, the hardest part about this whole thing is the fact that we are going to have to wait until the end of July before we get to see another slopestyle competition here on the Crankworx World Tour and the Slopestyle Super League. I want to thank you to every one of you out there who joined us on the Crankworx YouTube today and yesterday during Downhill. I know it's going to be hard to wait until the end of July for the next stop, but we'll be here for you. We hope you join us then. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you in Whistler.
Nothing can get in our way, anything they throw right is not even an obstacle. Years in the making to get to this moment, now I feel like nothing's impossible. Yeah, it's my time to get it, my time to kill it. Let's get down to business. Yeah, it's my time to get it.